And no more being late for me. Decided to come up on the street and have some conversations with people. Let's see what's gonna happen. Um, yeah, I think I have maybe like 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. Let's see. It is a very nice weather. I think it's maybe like 23 degrees, 24 maybe. There's a lot of people on the streets. I'm on this other side now. There's a lot of people just chilling in the shade. I also have a partial shade here, so it's perfect. I need to keep an eye on the phone that it is also in the shade. But yeah, we have some musicians. Oh shit, we're gonna have this guy. Ugh. Might need to move if this guy's coming. This extremely noisy guy just came. I have to move far away from him. 1 second. I had to move. It's just the accordion guy is here and he's gonna start being extremely noisy. Let's see. Okay, hello VPM. I saw your message. I'm gonna change it when I finish this. Hello Martin, hey the LTN, hell Dial J for Josh. Chip, how do you develop bravery to do these public outreaches? I think I just don't really care what people think of me anymore. I'm at a state where I'm like, I don't really mind. I was very afraid of rejection at some point, but I think just continuously putting yourself in these shoes of rejection, you kind of get immune to it. Hey VPM, Enrico Donato, nice to see everybody here. And show some love also to Axel, everybody. If you like these kind of streams, Axel is streaming for 24 hours today. He will be streaming all the Discord conversations. That's brave. That's brave. It's a lot of people today. Oh, he's gonna start with the accordion. God, it's gonna suck. Sorry, everybody. Just don't like. There's this guy who sits with an accordion. It's just the worst. Ooh, I think maybe I'll do this. There you go. I have a sign in all directions. Okay, nice. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Yes, sure, for sure.
What's your name?
I'm Sean.
Sean, nice to meet you. Where are you from?
I'm from Malta.
From Malta?
Malta.
Okay. So Sean, what do you think about animals? Do you think animals deserve to have rights?
It depends what animals.
So let me put it this way. Do you think, is it fair for us to test on animals? Like cosmetics?
It's not fair. It's not fair.
No, are you for or against it?
Against it.
Why? Why is it unfair to
Because
test on animals?
why you have to test on animals? If you are doing a product on human, try it on human.
Yeah.
Why you have to try it on animals? I
Just
don't
because-
agree. I don't agree with that.
So why? Why is that bad?
I'm not a vegetarian.
Yeah.
I eat beef, I eat pork, I eat everything. But doing tests like, for example, monkeys doing tests on rabbits, why? After all, you are going to make
But
money.
why is it bad?
You are going to make money to sell it on the streets for human.
But you get some benefit out of it, right? Like testing on animals does have a benefit.
I don't think so. Why?
Yeah, it does. It does. You can test whether it's safe for humans, right? That's
Why don't you test on humans to see if it's safe on humans?
So you're saying
If you want to test something, like you are going to test, let's say, pharmaceutical things, you test it on a human.
okay.
So
Testing on animals is bad. It's just because animals do not consent to being tested on, right?
try it on a human. Why
Okay.
not?
Okay. So then, when you said you eat animals,
Yes.
Why is that not the same? Why is eating
No,
animals
because
bad?
it's a food chain.
Do you think you
but,
can change?
But
do you think
to
you can
put on
choose to eat
lipstick,
something else?
but you to put on lipstick and to test it on a monkey. Come
But
on.
what's the difference? Because both of them are optional, are they not?
No.
You
but,
can choose to
no,
eat
no.
something else,
The,
can you not?
the monkey is going to buy the lipstick. Let's put it this
Can
way.
you choose to eat something else?
I'm not going to eat a monkey. I'm going to eat.
But can you choose to eat something else other than animals?
It's part of the food chain.
But can you choose to eat something else?
Like
Like plant-based products?
even the cow eat plant-based products.
So you can choose to eat something else, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the monkey has
So,
no rights.
so if you can choose to eat something else,
Uh-huh.
why would you choose to kill an animal for something that you don't need?
But it's something reproduction.
It's
you know?
simply because you want to, right?
Yes.
So,
Okay.
if I want to be cruel to animals, as in test on them, and you want to be cruel to animals and take their life so that you can eat their flesh, what's the difference?
Both
are cruelty,
no,
are they
yes. No, one you are eating. It's something different for me. But to test, to make
Well, what's the
test,
difference again? Because both are optional.
one is cosmetic, and one is food chain.
But both of them are just
Why do
touching their
lions?
body.
Why do lions eat a pig?
For the same reason that you do, but lions need to. You don't need to, do you?
Yes. Why? Why?
Why you don't need to? Because you can thrive on a plant-based diet. You have alternatives. Lions don't. Do you have alternatives?
No.
So you
we
have
have
alternatives,
We have
right?
alternatives.
Okay,
But
so
okay,
how is it
I
morally
like-
justified
I
to
like
kill
to
an
eat-
innocent
no, no.
animal when you don't need to?
I like to eat.
So because
meat.
you like to.
Yes.
So
but,
then it's
but
exactly
it-
the same as somebody who likes to test on animals.
No,
It's
no,
exactly
it's-
the same
no,
because
it's
they do
not.
it because they like to.
No, it's not
No,
the same.
what's the difference?
No. One,
The motivation is
one-
the same. They want to do it.
No, it's not the same.
What do you mean?
Wha-
Your
wha- wha-
motivation for eating animals is because you want to, correct?
Yes, but why you
So their
test on
motivation
animals?
for testing on animals is because they want to.
But
They're
it's-
both cruel things, and
Okay,
you do
let's
it,
take
and
it
they
like
do it
that.
also, right?
Let's take it like this. But to test like makeup and stuff like that on an animal, is the animal going to buy it? No.
Why does that matter? You do it because you want to, yet again. They're both actions that are cruel to animals, and you do it because you want to. They're both the same.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same.
No, because you of course you want to justify what you want to do, and you say it's not the same because it would be bad for you to think that you're supporting animal cruelty.
If it's
Do you think
something-
it's cruel to kill an animal when you don't need to?
No,
Is
it's-
it cruel
it's
to
food-
kill an
it's-
animal when
it's-
you don't need to?
It's a food chain.
Okay, so then why don't you eat dogs if it's a food chain?
No, you don't eat dog, man.
Why? It's a food chain.
Listen, a dog
but
you
it's a
keep
food
it.
chain.
No.
We eat
It's
rabbits.
fine.
We eat
Listen.
rabbits for
So why don't you eat
for
dogs?
example,
It's a food chain.
we eat rabbits.
But why don't you eat dogs?
We
It's a food chain.
we eat snakes in my
Why don't
country.
you eat dogs? It's a food chain.
No. My
Why?
dog it's different.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Why you eat a dog?
Yeah.
It's
Why,
not-
do you think that if you if you cut the throat of a dog, they feel differently than if you cut the throat of a cow?
My cow, listen, cow. It's been a long time. They.
Oh, so if we're doing something for a long time, then it becomes right.
No, but listen.
So it's not right if it's for a long time.
Okay, so we don't eat.
You can't
listen,
eat.
Listen. How things are.
What's the reason for you not eating dogs?
Because dog is different, man.
How is different?
Dog is a pet.
Well, those animals can also be pets, and dogs can also be bred for
Okay,
food.
so
It's the same thing. You can breed dogs for food
no,
also.
Okay, so in that matter, you have a cow as a pet at your home. You live in a
You
50,
you can
no,
have
no.
a pig as a pet, can you not?
Okay,
I'm assuming you eat pigs.
okay, you live in a 50
Wait,
square
the
meter.
pig is just as big as a dog, so you can definitely have a pig as a
Okay,
pet.
you have a pig as a no.
Yeah.
When he grows.
So you can grow pigs as pets, you can grow pigs as food, you can grow dogs as pets, and you can grow dogs as food. What morally justifies one but not the other?
But pig, listen, it's as I told you, I think it's a food chain. It's
But
the
that
food chain.
applies to dogs also.
No, dog is not a food chain.
What do you mean dog is not a food chain? Is the dog not an animal? Are you saying food chain because they're an animal and they're part of the food
They
chain?
are-
Is the dog not part of the food chain?
A dog is different from a cow.
What's the difference?
Cow,
What the
cow-
difference that justifies the violence? Explain to me.
No,
because
not
you
the
seem to think-
violence.
but you seem to think it's okay to be violent towards a cow, but not a dog. So I'm curious what the difference is.
No, a pet is different. When
What's
you
the
have
difference?
have a dog or a cat, you eat
Who
a cat.
gave that- who gave
no,
them
no,
that
you
label?
eat a cat.
Who gave them that label? Pet.
No, it's the human.
So if I say that you're food, it's morally justified for me to take your life because I say that you're food. You said that they are food. Did they ever choose to be food? No. But you say that they're food, therefore you think it's justified to take their life. So I can do the same to you, and then it's justified, correct? Is that your logic? You really want to die on this hill?
No. I'm getting your point, but
But come on, no matter what point we're making, if you're comparing it to testing on animals, both are unnecessary. They're optional,
test is
and both
different.
are cruel. Both are cruel.
then they die.
Do you think taking the life of an animal is not cruel for something you don't need?
It is, but it's something. I think to kill an animal, it's something on a food chain.
But when you talk about this food, do you know what the food chain is? You talk about it. Do you know what it is?
Like when we die. Example, when you die, who's going to eat you?
Nobody.
Yes.
Well, what is a food chain?
What they are called, daw. Dak xejdu joħorġu minnek, Madonna. Ostja. Mux lanzaw, maggots and stuff like that will eat you. Like when a bird dies, the ants will eat him.
Sure, but these animals are not, they don't die and you eat them. They get breathed into existence, they get killed, and then you eat them. So all this happens to them. Like imagine if your mother gave you life only to kill you. Would that be fair towards you? Why would it be fair to do that to an animal?
But it's not different. It's not different because food chain is something different than trying to test on animal. Testing on animal.
Food chain is just something you use to justify your own action. Food chain is a measurement of how energy flows in an ecosystem. It's not a measurement of power. But if you think it's a measurement of power and you think, well, I have power over these animals, do you think that you having powers over them justifies you being violent towards them for an optional product?
Okay,
it is violent. Come on, you're taking their life. It's violent. You're bringing them to life only to kill them.
So like that you go to jail if it's violent?
No, because violence towards animals is not a jailable offense. Violence towards animals is admitted. That's why we have animal agriculture. Animal agriculture is violent towards animals. It brings animals to life only to kill them. Right? That's what we do to all animals. I'm curious because if we do that to a dog, you say it's bad. If we do that to a cow, it's good. But a dog didn't choose to be born a dog. A cow didn't choose to be born a cow. And yet you seem to think that we treat them differently. Say that again.
You've chosen to be a man.
No, exactly. So I respect all sentient beings.
Yes, even I. But it's something. Different.
I don't just respect men because I'm a man. I don't just respect dogs because somebody told me to respect dogs. I respect dogs because I know that they're sentient beings who feel, who have emotions. For the same reason I respect cows, chickens, and pigs. Because they are sentient beings who have emotions.
Exactly, but if we don't eat like cows, pigs, chickens, rabbits, what do we eat?
Plants and plant-based products. Look at me, I'm pretty jacked and I'm only on a plant-based diet.
I'm a plant-based diet. Okay.
Nowadays you can thrive on a plant-based diet. You have mock meats if you really want to have a taste of meat. You have so many that the taste is it's just such a small difference that it's not really worth.
Something plant-based.
You don't what?
It's something plant-based. No, it's not. Yeah.
You're next.
I think I want to join.
Let me just give you a card before you go. Okay. Watch one of the two documentaries that appears on top. Okay.
Very good.
Have a good one.
Thank you so much.
You want to have a conversation with me?
Sure. Yeah.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm talking about animals. How do you feel about testing on animals?
It's a good question. It's funny. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. I think pros and cons. People rather test on animals than humans, but then at the same time, right? Like, so that's how we had advancement in science, right? But con because a human can give more informed consent than an animal can, right? So
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
So do you think it's fair to test on animals? Let's say cosmetics.
Cosmetics, no. That seems more just like for aesthetics and more vain.
Why is that bad? Why is it bad to test cosmetics?
I think it's superficial. It's vain. It's not, if you're talking about medicine, I think you have a little bit more of a point because you're talking about saving lives. It's just for our own aesthetic pleasure. What the hell's the point of that?
So if there's no actual necessity behind it, then it's wrong to test on animals?
Sure. Yeah. I guess you can summarize it. Yeah.
right? Because I don't understand. So if it's for cosmetics, I don't understand why that would be bad.
Yeah. Well, why is it bad?
Why is it bad for vanity or something, right? We all do
Why
things
is
for
vanity?
Yeah.
Sure, right? I mean, that's why. Yeah, I hear that, right? And you could talk about it as an art too, right? Even still, though, I think it's the risks of the animal, I think, outweigh the pros of the human and for the aesthetics at that point. Even if it's for vain, like if you're doing something for vanity because you decided to get, I don't know, the new designer product, right? There's no harm to somebody else other than maybe your pocket, right? But that's your own choice. To go ahead and have the tests on animals in that way, right? They can't even give consent, right? Seems very selfish.
Okay. Do you think is it okay to be cruel to an animal for another optional reason,
Another optional reason, like
Yeah.
what? I don't know.
like clothes, for example?
No.
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 How about food?
What do you mean for food? Like testing, see if this food does harm to them?
No, just like breeding animals into existence to kill them for an optional food.
Oh. Yeah. It's funny. There's a documentary on this. What is it called?
Dominion.
Yeah, there's a few of them. Yeah. I know. One on animals breeding for food. I know. There's a lot of science actually talking about how bad it is, and particularly like with beef and cow is actually really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So how do you feel about killing animals for optional products? Bringing them into existence only
Sure.
to kill them.
Yeah. I think it sounds terrible.
Sounds terrible.
But I still eat meat. If
You
I'm gonna
still
be
you support it,
Yeah, I guess I support it. Yeah.
but you don't need to, right?
Right, you don't. I mean, you can find protein and everything else to healthier options. That
So why
tastes
not
good.
choose something else?
I think it just hasn't been as much. I hasn't impacted my life in the way to really make me change it.
Yeah, because
Right.
you don't really see it, right?
Yeah. I'm not the one killing the animal.
Yeah.
Right.
But you are the one who is giving
Consuming
money to
it, I know, yeah.
right. So do
Yeah.
you think you have some responsibility for the
Absolutely.
animals?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the individual and also systemic issues, right? Like I think
Yeah.
if we made it more accessible, people would buy it more. You know.
Yeah. Do you think? Where do you live, by the way?
United States.
United States. Do you
Yeah.
think you have enough options to adopt a plant-based diet in the United States where you live?
I think if I looked for it, I think I'd have to look for it a little bit.
Yeah. Do you think that you can, like, because I'm assuming you find yourself as a person who's against cruelty towards animals.
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Do you think you can be against it while simultaneously supporting it?
Can you be? Yeah, I think people have mixed what's the paradox of humanity, or how does the expression go? Essentially, we all have conflicting beliefs. So yeah, I think you can be, but yeah.
But would it be, because if I say I'm a feminist and I respect
Sure.
women's rights, but then I go around slapping women's asses, am I a feminist?
I mean, I don't think you can pigeonhole people just like black and white, like yes, no. I think everyone engages in feminist like behavior. Shouldn't say everybody. A lot of people engage in feminist like behaviors while also doing things that are probably not pro-feminism, right? So I don't think we are.
I think if you have the choice between doing a thing that is pro-feminism and a thing that isn't, I think if you say you're a feminist, you kind of have
You tend to lean that way more often than
you,
not.
you have the
Yeah.
obligation to choose the one that doesn't. Otherwise, you're not a feminist. If you
Obligation
choose
to whom? I guess yourself, right? 'Cause
to
that's
yourself,
that's
yeah,
your own
to
label.
to your
Right.
own values, right?
Right. But no one 100% does any option, right? Like.
Well, in this case, in this case, you do have options, right? In this case, when you
Sure.
choose to buy an animal product, you are choosing. You are not forced within that.
Sure.
choice.
Yeah.
So you have an option. So you know that there's cruelty behind that animal product. So
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
have a choice to choose something else.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that. I guess I
Yeah.
was just more so saying that like no one 100% chooses one option all the time, every time.
Yeah.
Right. So I think
But what would you call a person that always chooses to not oppress animals, to not be cruel to them?
I guess a supporter of animal rights. Sure.
Sure, a vegan.
Yeah. Sure. All right.
A vegan
Yeah.
person is somebody who supports
Sure.
animal rights.
Yeah.
Do you want to support animal rights?
Sure.
So you
Yeah,
sure?
yeah.
Have you ever considered being vegan yourself?
I mean, not more than a fleeting thought, to be honest with you.
Yeah, not more than a fleeting thought. But now do you understand the importance of being vegan,
Sure.
knowing that animals, they're mistreated behind
Sure.
it?
Yeah.
I mean, when I talk about testing on animals, a lot of people have this knee-jerk reaction to it. That's why I wanted to start with this. But
Yeah.
the reality is, it's just as optional as the thing we do to animals for food.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
just as cruel. In fact, I would say it's crueler what we do for food, because we bring them to life, we exploit
that
as much
purpose.
as we can, and then we kill them.
Yeah.
And then we treat them like an object, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the difficult question, and it's the final one. How
Oh,
many
no.
more animals should be exploited for you until you change?
Man, the way you phrase these questions, man.
I mean, I try to listen. My phrasing is not in a way to like it can seem weird to you, but it's phrasing in a way that encompasses the victim.
No,
also,
I understand what you're saying.
Because
I understand what you're saying.
they're victims
Yeah,
of these
yeah.
choices.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think but I can actually give it like thought. I'll say that. I'll give it some real thought.
How about I give you this? I give you some resources.
Sure.
And
That's reasonable.
yeah, just either watch the minion or the most important speech over here. They appear on top.
Okay.
And you have a thing there called Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist. They send you recipes every day.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
help you adopt a plant-based diet for free. All of it.
Oh, nice. Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Go vegan, man. No more. None of these excuses. No more excuses. No, he was laughing. But the guy had no problems with anything. I don't really like starting with this one. I thought more people would go another way, but they didn't. Hello, everyone. What you guys want to try a social experiment? So I have a sign that it's pointing in that direction. I'm pointing in this direction. Let's see if anybody comes to me right now. Those two conversations were kind of all over the place. I felt like none of them actually had some good foundation. But I'm trying this new thing out. So until we find this this foundation for this new thing, it's gonna seem a little bit chaotic. Sorry, everybody. Flex, flex, flex. I mean, meh. Haven't been to the gym today. I woke up late, like at 8:30. Hello, Jeremy. Nice to see you here. It's nice that I at least have some shade. I thought this guy with the accordion, by the way, everybody. Can you guys hear the music? Yes, you can hear the music. Okay, barely. Let me show you. So this music, this guy right here, let me show you. This is kind of funny. So this guy, wait, shit, I can't zoom in like that, wait. Maybe if I put him in like, you see this guy right here who's pretending to play the accordion, and you think the music is coming from him. It's not. He's pretending. He put a speaker and he's pretending that he's playing the accordion. Yeah, imagine that. Imagine where we're at. We're at in a society where you go with an accordion, you do this, and you pretend to be playing music. And you expect people to give you money for that because that's what he does. And he also has an Instagram handle. Hi. That Cube of Truth classic music, exactly. It's that Cube of Truth music also. Cheater, no penny from me, says Erwin. Yeah. Yeah, at least he's not like, because when he played the accordion, damn, it was loud. It was loud and obnoxious. So, for me right now, I don't mind it because that's okay. I can do activism at least with this music. But that song is literally on my playlist, says David. Yeah, I know. It's the AV typical playlist, isn't it? It's not even pretending too well, to be honest. You guys want to try a social experiment?
No, thank you. I don't do experiments.
Okay. A big fat pony. I know the reference. That's from Family Guy, right? Oh. Today is another day where it's gonna be sunny, not sunny, shady, not shady. But yeah. Smash that like, says David, the 40-year-old vegan. Thank you, David. Jake Lagatare says hit that like button. Thank you, Jake. You're right. Lol, that guy was sassy. That guy was sassy, yeah. I kind of wanted to have a conversation with him since he was so sassy. I like sassy people. Shall I still go down this route of asking people about testing on animals first and then going towards animals? Let's see, maybe I try a little bit differently. I really want to nail this from before people get to food. Royata says you never answered me yesterday. I don't know what you said there. Royata, Rojata, I don't know how to pronounce your name. but I only see one, two, three, four, five, maybe 6 messages. So if your messages, if you text me when I'm not looking, I might just not see it. Let me show you guys. This is so funny. I'm sorry, I can't expect like look. You see how passionate he behaves? Like, look at me, I'm singing. Why do people do that? Hey Alexander, there's not even that instrument in the original song. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can play, in theory you can play a song with different instruments, and he's behaving as if he's playing it, but he's not really playing it. You wanna try a social experiment? I ask you some questions.
Actually, wait, I'm kind of scared. Okay.
Are you scared?
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Okay.
Wait, I'll just put it here. You wanna come here so that you're in view? Nice. What's your name?
Caris.
Harris, I'm Chip. Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
I'm from New York.
From New York.
Yeah.
Okay, love it. So Harris, I'm an animal rights
Caris.
activist. Caris.
Yeah.
Caris, sorry.
Sorry.
I'm an animal rights activist. I fight for the rights of animals. Do you think animals deserve rights?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think testing on animals is okay?
Doing what?
Testing cosmetics on
Testing.
animals.
I think it's very circumstantial and depends a lot on the way that you test it and what kind of products you're testing.
Okay. What do you mean by that? When is it okay? When is it not okay?
Well, I actually don't know a lot about how people test and experiment on cosmetics on animals and like how that process is. So I feel like I'm not like educated enough to speak on that.
Yeah. But how do you feel about it? Like the idea of, we usually test on beagles.
On beagles?
Yeah, do you know why we test on beagles, by
Why?
the way? Because they're very docile, so we can do whatever we want. So do you think it's okay to bring to life beagles and use them for testing, and then when we're done with them, we kill them and mind our own business?
No.
Is that wrong?
Yeah, that's wrong.
Okay. What if we did that for another reason? Would that be okay?
Did what for another reason?
Like bring to life an animal, use them, and then kill them.
No, I don't think that's right.
Okay. Do you think animal agriculture does that?
Animal what?
Agriculture.
Agriculture?
Eating the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they bring to life animals? They use them as objects and
Yeah,
then they
like
kill them?
like farming animals and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your stance on that? Is that wrong?
Yeah. I do think that's wrong.
You do think that's
Yeah.
wrong? Yeah. Do you participate in it? Do you support it?
I'm a vegetarian.
You're a vegetarian?
Yeah.
So you support the dairy cows and stuff, right?
It's okay.
That's okay. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Do you know what dairy cows go through, by the way?
Yes.
You
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
To some extent.
to some extent, why do you think they produce milk? Let's just go through this and then I'll let you go. I won't keep you captive. It's okay.
We do kind of have to rush because
It takes
we have
2
to-
minutes. 2 minutes.
okay.
What do dairy cows go through? What do they?
Dairy
Why
cows?
do they produce milk?
Oh, they're like milked and it's like they're like farmed and stuff just to be like.
But why do they produce milk in the first place?
Why do cows biologically produce milk?
I don't know.
their children.
For their children. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So do you think that they get pregnant when they want to, or do you think farmers forcefully impregnate them?
Farmers forcefully impregnate them.
That's one thing that's wrong about dairy. When the babies are born, they separate them from their mothers. Do you know why they do that?
So that they can do the same thing to the.
Close. No, they do it so that they can't drink the milk. Because if they stay with their mother, they will drink the milk, and farmers
yeah.
need to control how much
Yeah.
milk they drink. If the baby is born male, they're classed as a useless product. And what do you think happens to them?
They're just killed on the spot.
Exactly. And if they're female, every year, like their mother, inseminated, impregnated, a baby is taken, exploited for milk, repeatedly year over year, up until the age of 6 to 8, after which they kill them. Cows can live 24, 25 years. Do you know why they kill them at that age?
Because they can no longer produce milk.
Close enough, yeah. That's because they can't get them pregnant, and hence they won't produce milk. Is that something you want to be part of?
No.
What would you call a person that says no to all of it?
Wait, what?
What would you call a person who says no to any form of exploitation towards animals?
A vegan.
Yeah, yeah. Did you ever consider being vegan?
Yeah, I have. I've tried before, but
It sounds like your values are in line with veganism.
Yeah.
It's wrong to do this to animals.
Yeah.
But then, that's the thing. It's not your fault that you're supporting this. The sad reality is that industries pay for, they pay for you to not know this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm on the street trying to
Yeah.
tell people more so that people can make choices on their
Uh-huh.
own.
All right. Well,
But-
thank you. That was very.
Let me just give you a card.
Educational.
Just
Okay.
And before you go, how many more animals should be exploited for you until you change? It's a difficult one, I know.
How many more animals should you? Zero. Zero.
That means you gotta go vegan. I'll just give you a card, maybe you share with
Great,
everybody.
yeah, I
If
will.
you scan this QR code, you have a thing there called Challenge 22. They
Okay.
hook you up with a nutritionist, send you recipes every day,
Yeah.
and they'll help you go vegan for free, okay?
All right. Great.
I appreciate you. Have a good one. Cheers. Why? Is there something on my face, everybody, today that people just keep laughing? That's okay. It's okay. I guess she was just a little bit embarrassed, but that's okay. That's okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. If you're enjoying these conversations, hit that like. We're here in Amsterdam. We're in Museumplein. We're having a beautiful time. That's right here is Rijksmuseum. The weather is great. There's a lot of people on the street. Hi, you want to try a social experiment? He just fist bumped me and moved on. I don't know what it is. Is my face friendlier than usual? It's the same three songs all over again, says Alexandra. Yes, Alexandra. And he's yet again pretending. Let me show you. In case you guys don't know, there's a guy here who's playing the accordion, but he's not actually playing the accordion. Let me zoom in. You see him? He's pretending to play the accordion. He's got a speaker. He plays the music from the speaker, and then he pretends to play the accordion. So the accordion guy isn't even playing at all. No, he's not. I mean, I remember because I've been doing this for a couple of years, and I was sitting in this corner when I started. And I remember when he first started, he actually played the accordion, and he played some very funky songs, but they're very loud, very, very loud. And I guess not a lot of people enjoy them. So he found this other gig where he just sits with the speaker on the street and pretends to be playing. Hi, good. Are you?
Good.
You want to try the social experiment?
What kind of a social experiment are we
I just
doing?
ask you some questions, get you to think a little bit.
Okay.
You
We
want-
can give it a try.
Yeah. Are you okay being?
Question.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Sure, that's okay.
You wanna come here
Of
so that
course.
chamber? What's your name?
Aiden.
Aiden. Nice to meet you. I'm Chip.
Nice to meet you.
Where are you from, Aiden?
I'm from Sweden.
From Sweden.
Yes.
Love it. So Aiden, I'm an animal rights activist. I fight for the rights of animals. Do you think animals deserve rights?
Of course, they do deserve rights.
What rights do you think they deserve?
They deserve the same rights as humans, of course, in different levels. But of course, they deserve to be treated well. They deserve safe environment and so on.
Do you think they deserve the right to not be enslaved?
Definitely.
Definitely.
That's for sure.
That's for sure.
Of
Okay.
course.
Do you think that in animal agriculture they enslave animals?
In what?
In animal agriculture.
Yes.
Do you think they
do,
enslave animals?
yes. I think it's been like enslaving animals. I feel like it's been like more normalized a little bit. So I think like a lot of people don't think about it that deep. But I think it happens actually in many sections.
Yeah. Do you buy animal products?
No, I try to buy like cruelty-free. Even like I buy my skincare products from the pharmacy as well.
Yeah.
I always give an eye actually.
But when you buy, for example, food, do you buy any animal products?
Usually I try not. Sometimes it happens when I'm with like family gatherings, but when I'm on my own, I usually try not to.
Okay. Do you know what being vegan means?
Being vegan, yeah, of course. When you like don't eat animal products, at all.
Yeah, so being vegan means rejecting this idea of animals should be enslaved for us. It sounds like you have this value already. It's just from time to time you seem to not mix with this value,
Yeah,
right?
I think, yeah, exactly, yeah. I've tried to go vegan many times, but then I didn't succeed. It's always like when I'm with family, they eat like animal products. But yeah, I've been trying. Been like very interested actually, because I think about it a lot.
Nice. So let me test a little bit of this value
Oh.
of yours. So if your family starts having problems with women, they start being misogynistic all of a
Yes.
sudden. Are you
They
gonna
started
be
being misogynist. No, of course not.
You're not gonna be
Of course not. Everyone is, yeah, of course. Everyone
Okay.
is different. No, no.
Okay, okay.
If somebody jumps off the bridge, I wouldn't jump. So
you
I
would-
get your point.
So you would still not. Okay. What if your family starts eating dogs? Would you?
Definitely not. Definitely
No.
not.
So it seems like even if it's food or rights,
Right, yeah.
you have your own values and you don't need to do the same thing that your family does, right?
No, of course, totally.
Yeah. So I guess I don't want to ask you more things because you're already saying that you want to be vegan. How many more animals should be exploited for you until you make a change?
It's not. It doesn't have like. It's not. I don't think it's about that. How many animals for me to make a change, even if it's like one animal. But I think just like living, I don't know, just like this society when everything is so normalized, everybody does it. And I don't think a lot of people are aware of it. So,
But
so
you're
that's
aware
why.
of
But
it,
I'm,
right?
I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
Exactly, of course.
So that's why I ask you how many animals
of
because
course.
I think if we consider
Yeah, it's
the
just a question
victims-
how many animals. For me, it sounds like okay. It should have like. It sounds a little like horrible to say. I don't know, like to think about. Oh, it should be like this certain amount of animals for me to stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the reason why I pose this question is because every
So
time
many.
you will make a choice going forward and you will buy an
Yeah.
animal product, you will be supporting the oppression, violence,
Yeah, for
exploitation
sure.
of an
For
innocent
sure.
animal, right? And you wouldn't support that in the case of a human being. You wouldn't
Sure.
support that in the case of a different animal, like a dog or something.
Sure, sure.
So don't you think you should have the same respect for all animals?
Totally.
So
agree.
if I ask you this question again, what's a good number? What do you wish for? If I ask you how many more animals should be exploited specifically for you?
Zero.
There you go.
Definitely
That's
zero,
exactly
yeah.
it. So that would mean going vegan.
Zero, of course. Yes.
Let me give you a card. Let me give you a card. Aiden was right.
Aiden, yes.
Yeah. So Aiden,
Yeah.
if
And
you
yours?
Chip, I'm Chip.
Chip.
Yeah, you have my YouTube channel there. If you scan this QR code,
Okay.
there's a video there called Dominion or the most important speech you'll ever hear. They both appear on top. Give one of them a watch. And you have another resource there called Challenge 22. They hook you up with a nutritionist. They send you recipes every day,
Yeah.
and they help you adopt a plant-based diet for free.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate the talk.
I appreciate you,
I
Aiden.
appreciate what you're
Thank you
doing.
so
Have a good one.
much. Take care.
Cheers. Aiden was cool. Love it. Cool person. Back to 3 good conversations. I think this corner is a bit better for conversations than there, actually. I think here people are a little bit more relaxed. There's a pretty relaxed state of mind here, so I think that's why it's a little bit better. He cool, yeah, he's cool. I agree. I don't know if it's he or a they. I don't know how they identified us, but cool person. Let's just say that. It's also really nice for me, to be honest, to be here. It's just that here you can only really do it in the weekends in this particular corner, because during the week there's just not that many people, but in the weekends there's a lot, so it's kind of nicer to do. And it's such a nice atmosphere too. They're rebuilding part of the plots, the part of the place, part of the market, I want to call it. I don't know how to call it in English, actually. They're rebuilding some of it, as you see some of the fences here. And outside of that, they're going to make something really cool. They always do something cool. And outside of that, on the other side, they used to have a basketball court before, but they made 2 new complete basketball courts. Well, it's one, but with two hoops. They made one of those skateboard parks. It's a pretty nice atmosphere. It feels like everybody can do something here in this whole square. Square, that's the word I was looking for. The Plaza Square, yeah, that's a good one also. So it feels like everybody has something to do here. There's some people who can go there and have a little bit of a snack. There's museums, there's people sitting on the grass. And I'm very curious what they're gonna do in this place where they fenced it up and what eventually they're gonna do with it. I think the music suits your activism, said Jennifer. That's cool. I mean, this is exactly the AV music, so I guess it is good one. How is everybody doing, by the way? Are you a comedian? I am not a comedian, no. I am an animal rights activist. I fight for the rights of animals, and I try to have conversations with people, try to get them to, to respect animals. But, from time to time, I am a bit silly. I enjoy silliness. Where are you? I am in Amsterdam right now. This is in Museumplein. It's a square for museums. You wanna try a social experiment? There's a lot of tourists here. There's a lot of people chilling. So yeah, animal rights for wild animals like rats. Well, animal rights for all animals, but I mostly focus in these days on the animals that we usually disconsider: the cows, the chickens, the pigs. These animals, we usually don't even consider them as worthy of rights. Most people actually skip over them. When they think about animal rights, they think about wild animals, as you just thought now. But these animals are the most exploited, slaughtered, and abused animals on the planet. We bring them to life only to use them, and when we can no longer use them, we kill them. What's your stack? I don't know how to answer that question. Do you mean because I'm a software engineer also? What's my stack, or what do you mean? Because yes, I am also a software engineer. But cow, chicken, and goats are meat, man. All animals, all humans are meat, man. All of them are. Just because you selectively chose these ones, well, you didn't even selectively chose them. Somebody told you that these animals is okay to exploit and slaughter for an optional product, and you bought it, you believed it without questioning it. Does not mean it's okay to do this to them. You don't need to consume animal products. You can thrive on a plant-based diet. I'm assuming most people have an issue with their diet. You don't need to wear leather. You can wear synthetic leather if that's what you want. You don't need to exploit any of these animals. There's no need in it. It's just because of wants, and that's not justified. Lol, is this dude real? Yes, I am real. I respect animals, yes. I am pretty much a person who respects animals. There's millions of us on this planet nowadays, and the number is increasing because, we wake up to the injustice that we are supporting, that most people are supporting. We wake up to the lies that we have been fed, that these animals live a good life. We wake up to the lies that we need to consume animal products. We woke up to all of this shit and we said, no, no more. That's what we said, because we woke the fuck up. Because we said, we know, we used our brains. That's how we got here. We used our brains. There's no moral justification. There's no rational moral justification, no reasonable justification to exploit these animals. It always boils down to the same thing. I want it. It's been my culture, it's been my tradition. And none of these are good enough justification for oppressing any other individual, for being cruel to any other animal. Yet when it comes to these animals, when it comes to this cruelty, we support it continuously. Don't be that person. Think for yourself a little bit. Learn a little bit. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you think maybe it's not cruelty, maybe this guy's talking bullshit. Look it up. I even provided you with a 3-minute video in the description of this stream. This 3 minutes, it takes 3 minutes. Look it up. Go there, watch the 3-minute video, and come back and talk to us. It takes 3 minutes just to see standard practices from animal agriculture. Standard practices. Highly likely that you are supporting those. It's not even about those though. That's the thing about it. Because even if the practices would be spot on, you would say, oh, I don't see any issues here. Any issues here. At the end of the day, you're still bringing to life sentient beings only to exploit and slaughter them. And why do I call them sentient beings? It's because they are sentient. What that means is that they have a subjective experience of the world. They are subjects of their own universe. They have emotions. They have experiences, both positive and negative. They form memories. They have friends. They have families. All of the things that we appreciate about our own lives, they have it too. All of the things that make our life valuable, they have it too. And all of those, we shit on them and we say, no, let's kill them. You guys want to try a social experiment? So let's not be those people. Let's think for ourselves a little bit, okay? Let's think for ourselves a little bit. Let's be smart about this. Let's not be, I don't know, just following what the crowd does. Let's be critical thinkers, okay? What's the stance on insect produce? Same thing. We don't need to do it, don't do it. Why bring to life innocent insects only to exploit and kill them? Why? I don't see the point. You can always choose a plant-based product. Plants are not sentient, and it's monumentally better for everybody. It's better for the environment, it's better for your health, it's better for the workers who produce those products, it's better for your wallet, it's better for society. Jesus Christ. You know who wins from animal agriculture, from animal products? Not even the farmers win. It's the corporations that win. You, by consuming animal products, you are supporting corporations. You are saying those are more valuable. Hey, you want to try a social experiment?
Okay.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Pardon?
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
I don't mind. I don't.
What's your name?
My name is Jürgen.
Jürgen, I'm Chip. Nice to meet you.
Conrad. Conrad. Can call me Conrad as well.
Conrad, where are you from, Conrad?
I come from the very south of Germany.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yes.
So, Conrad, I'm an animal rights activist. I fight for the rights of animals. Do you think animals deserve rights?
Okay. I'm not sure if they have rights, but I'm sure that they should be treated in a correct way.
Okay. Do you think that animals should have the right to not be enslaved by us?
To not be enslaved by us.
I mean, obviously we can enslave any animal. We're powerful enough.
Yes, we can.
Do you think that
can.
they should have the right to live free of our enslavement?
Now the thing is that there's no actual definition for this enslavement, and which animals are we talking about?
So wait a minute.
Are we talking about a fly that's buzzing around my head and I just kill it, just like that?
I'm talking about innocent animals, the ones that didn't do anything to you.
Okay, I think all animals are innocent. Even the fly is innocent. It's
Sure,
living
but
its
but you,
life.
you could
That's
argue
it.
that fly is bothering you in some way. I'm not saying that any animal that is bothering you in any way. I'm talking about animals who we bring into existence only to enslave. Do you think that's
Only
okay?
to enslave.
Yeah.
We're talking about breeding companies and slaughterhouses and that stuff.
All of it, yeah,
That-
all of
that
animal
kind of stuff.
agriculture, yeah.
And are you talking about pets as well?
Sure, pets also should also not be brought into existence. Yes.
So there should be no pets in our private homes.
Not coming from our breeding. Not coming from our breeding. We
coming
can
from
have
our
animal
breeding, but-
companionships coming from.
When they come to us, but normally they don't come to us. We have
Sure.
to.
So then we
to
shouldn't have
carry
them. Yeah, we should not
So
force animals.
That
yeah.
means we shouldn't have them.
Yeah,
we shouldn't
perhaps
have-
we shouldn't have them. Yeah.
We shouldn't have a dog. We
Only-
shouldn't have a goldfish.
Not in the situation where we are enslaving them, not in the situation where we are breeding them to life ourselves for our own pleasure. Yes, we shouldn't do that. Do you think it's okay to do whatever we want to an animal as long as we get something from it?
No, certainly not.
No. So then surely then bringing them to life for our pleasure or bringing them to life for an optional food or for optional clothes, all of it should not be done, right?
That's not easy to say.
Say it again.
That's not easy to say.
Why is that?
Why is that? It's because it's a part of the life in the whole world.
It's normal. You normalize.
It's normal, yes.
But does that make it right? Something being normal it also means it's right?
I'm not saying.
Because what
I'm
I was
not
talking about
using-
is what it
I'm
should
not
be.
using the word normal for something that's right or wrong. It's just that it's a fact in the whole world.
Yeah, but my question
that-
was, should it happen? That's why I'm asking you if it's right
I'm
or
not
wrong.
sure if there's a way that it does not happen.
I mean, I'm sure we can.
I suppose that everybody or every creature on this earth is using another creature for his own, to his own satisfaction.
But we don't have to, right? Like we don't have to use animals for food, for clothing, or entertainment. We have several other alternatives for all of these sources. So what justifies us bringing to life animals so that we can use them in these situations? Because we can, yet again, have other alternatives. We have plant-based food for food. We have clothing that does not require animals, like synthetic leather, if we talk about leather. We have, I don't know, cotton, all sorts of materials. And for entertainment, hell, we have so many forms of entertainment these days that animals would be...
Now, do we have all these possibilities that you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So, then, let's say...
At least you and I do.
You and I, but that will not change the situation. When we look at the whole, at the situation as a whole, that will not change.
No, but it does change the life of over 100 animals per year, for example, when it comes to food, right? And it doesn't really matter. Like, I think if there's several injustices happening around the world, I wouldn't want to be part of them just because everybody is part of them. I myself, if I can't stand up to them, if I can say no to them, then I choose to say no. If I have no other choice, like in the situations where I have to pay my taxes, it is what it is. But when I have the choice to say no, I think I should say no if I actually think it's an injustice. Can you say no?
No, I will not say no.
You will not say no?
No.
So you want to continue the oppression of innocent animals?
Yes, if you say it that way, I
Well,
will
it
do
is
that.
cruel and unjust. It is by definition oppression. It's not how I say it. It is by definition oppressive.
But I will continue doing that.
Why do you want to be oppressive towards innocent animals?
I don't want to be oppressive against them. I just want to eat them once in a while. And
Wait, would you find that as a good enough justification for me? I don't want to be oppressive towards humans. I just want to eat them from once in a while. Does that justify my actions because I want to eat them? Does that justify me killing them and eating them?
maybe, yes.
Maybe, yes. So you think what Jeffrey Dahmer did, the person who killed and ate humans, was wrongfully convicted?
No, not necessarily what he did.
Okay.
No.
But you just said now that if you want to kill and
If
eat
it's-
somebody,
if
it's okay.
If it's part of the culture, yes.
If it's part of the culture, yes.
That can
Okay,
be, yes.
so something being cultural also makes it right.
Something being cultural also makes it right, yes.
Okay, so slavery, when slavery was part of the culture, it was moral, it was right.
It was right at that time, yes.
Okay, so female genital mutilation, that's part of certain cultures where they cut off the clitoris of women, it's moral.
No, not today, and not in our culture.
Okay. So you're just a firm defender that culture justifies morality, correct? So women not having rights for thousands of years was moral. Only when we started giving them rights it became
I
immoral.
suppose that women had rights, but they did not have the rights
To vote.
that we are seeing now as their rights.
So women not having the right to vote was moral to you? Because it was cultural.
Yes, it was all right. At that time, it was all right.
Okay.
Now you see, the point is, you
So why
asked-
did we stop it if it was all right?
The point is that culture.
Think for yourself, because that's what you're saying right now.
course
If
I'm-
everybody else does
of course
it,
I
I
think
want to
for
do it.
myself.
If you think for yourself and you think it's an injustice, then why continue participating simply because you get pleasure from it? Is that really a good enough justifier? Would a good person say, I get pleasure from this injustice, therefore I will support this injustice?
Why do I have to be a good person?
You don't have to be a good person. Do you consider yourself a good person?
No,
No.
not in your eyes.
Well,
Not in your.
I personally don't think there's such a thing as good or bad people. I think what
Okay,
you're doing
that's-
is a bad thing.
So we can go to this point. Yes.
Yeah, I think
where
what you're
see
doing
as
is
well.
you're doing a bad thing.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's
That's-
the same as anybody who justifies any injustice that they want to do. Take for instance somebody who wants to commit rape, they justify it by saying I want to do it. I know it's unfair to a victim, but I want to do it, therefore it's justified to me. You're saying exactly the same thing. I want to do it from time to time. It's justified because I want to do it from time to time. I don't know what kind of world you
No,
want to
it's-
live in, because I feel like
what
if you were
kind
the
of
victim, you
world
would.
I wanna live
Yeah,
in?
because if you were the victim of somebody performing exactly your logic and saying, "I want to oppress you because it benefits me right now," I don't think you would enjoy that. So if you were the victim, you wouldn't enjoy it. But when you're the oppressor and somebody else is the victim, you seem to have no problem justifying
You
it.
can believe me, I'm sometimes the victim as well.
And do you like that?
Just like you are the victim.
And do you
once
like
in a
it?
while. If I like it? No, not at all.
No. So
I
then
think-
why do
I
the same
think-
to others?
Look, why do the same to others?
Yeah.
It's a part of my life, you know.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't
It
have to
doesn't
be.
have to be. No.
Do
but
you
it-
really think
but
that
it is.
the important part is the fact that an animal
No.
is oppressed? You can get any food that you want and convert it to a plant-based dish and
Okay,
have your life
what-
as you
how should I
want it. You don't
explain
need
it
to
you?
do any of
How
this.
should I explain it to you? The thing is that I will not force myself on this issue.
No, because
I
you
will
don't
not
really
force
respect
myself-
animals. Because if you did respect animals, you wouldn't force them into
If you
slaughterhouses for
go
an
to
optional
if you go
product.
to a certain point, you are absolutely right. Yes, I don't. But the thing is, I don't feel the respect to the extent that I would stop it. You know,
You don't feel respect towards an animal to the extent that you want to stop oppressing them.
that I would stop to suppress.
Do you think that you're a fair person? Let me ask you this. If not respect, fairness. Do you qualify as a person who wants to live in a fair world where everybody's treated fairly?
Now, look, I think.
Because do you think this is fair to do to them just because you want to? You know where I'm going with this. You know it's bad.
When-
I just don't
when
understand
you-
why you're trying to justify something that you know is bad. I understand you want to do it. I understand your brain is telling
look,
you
there are-
it's difficult to change, but you can make different choices. You don't have to.
Of course,
be
you
that,
can make different
yeah.
choices, but I can make different choices in many ways.
As you
There
should.
are-
If there's
there are
victims,
many,
you should make
there are
different
so
choices.
many issues where I can do different things. You
And
know?
you should, as you should. If
And-
there's a, if
and I look at myself and I look at what I'm doing, and then I decide what I'm doing. And if there's I don't feel obliged to make this world a better place. That's not my job on this earth.
no, but
That's not what I'm here for.
no, but that I did not
And
say
if-
that you're here
and
for,
if-
for that.
if I'm living if I'm living in
I'm saying
in a
don't make it.
culture,
Listen, by the way, I'm
if
not
I'm-
saying just to be clear because you're misunderstanding me. I'm not telling you to make the world a better place. I'm not telling you sit on the street, have conversations with people, stand up for animal rights. I'm telling you to not make the world a worse place. I'm telling you to do the bare minimum and not oppress animals. I'm not telling you go ahead and speak up for animals. I'm telling you do the bare minimum and not oppress them. Don't make the world a worse place. If you want what I'm suggesting, you
Okay.
can leave the world be nice. Don't make it better, don't make it worse. I'm just saying don't make it worse, that's what I'm saying. Because when you're supporting animal oppression, you are making it worse.
Okay.
Listen,
it's-
I know you disagree with me, but have you ever seen what animals go through? Like, have you ever seen?
I've looked at some. I've been to slaughterhouses and some years ago, not to a very very big one, but to a small one in a city.
Is it
with-
nice?
No, of course it isn't. It isn't.
So don't
No.
support it, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying stand up in front of those slaughterhouses, ask them to close. All I'm saying is don't give them your money. Give your money to every other situation. You can find pleasure from food in other situations. You can find enjoyment. You can make your own culture if you want. You can literally have your own life how you want to without oppressing these animals. I don't think that the slight taste difference that it makes for you from choosing a plant-based meat or a regular meat would make that much of a difference for you. Yet it makes a whole of a lot of a difference to them. Just imagine for you it's 10 minutes of food, 15 minutes of food which you forget about in a couple of weeks, and for them it's their whole existence.
Now look what's worrying me most when I see animals that are breeded is not that they are breeded, and it's not that they are killed and someone is going to eat them. It's how they are treated.
Why do you
on
care
the
about that?
farms. Why I care about that?
Yeah, you clearly pay for
I
them to be
cannot-
treated like objects, don't you? You don't care about their consent at all. You pay for them to be brought into existence and be
No,
killed.
that's not true.
And all of a sudden you say, well, I want them to have a good life because you want to feel good about something. But the reality is you can always choose for them to not be brought into this existence of exploitation and then slaughter as babies. Animals are killed as babies. If you've ever seen that, you know that. They're killed at a fraction of their lifespan. And the things we do to animals, in the best case scenarios, it makes every person squint. Every single person on this planet, in the best case scenarios of the farming, they will be like, oh shit, that's kind of bad. So I'm not saying you think they should be treated nicely because this is what you've been told. If as long as we treat them nicely, it's okay. This is what you've been told. You've been lied to. I've been lied to the same. I'm just saying, think about it. Is it really nice enough to bring an animal to life for the sole purpose of killing them? And doing that for what? Like take for instance, chickens can live 10 years and we kill them at 42 days. We kill them at a month and a half as babies.
I don't see that as a problem. That's
If
not,
we did that to humans, would it be a problem? Would you see it
if
as
we
a
did
problem?
that what's your opinion against abortion?
I'm for abortion, yeah.
You're for abortion, okay?
Yeah, I'm pro-choice.
So, okay, you're for free choice.
Yeah.
And I'm for free choice with my meals. And
But there's a difference there because you see, I
Explain
think
that,
abortion
please.
is immoral from the moment that the fetus is sentient
yes, that's what you say. But you
because
how
you're
can-
killing a sentient being.
No, you're just drawing a border.
No, do you
You
know why
said-
sentience matters?
No,
I can explain to you why.
Explain.
Sure. So sentience defines somebody as being an individual. If they don't have sentience, then they're not capable of suffering or of any action being moral or immoral towards
How
them.
do
They're
you know
essentially an
that?
object.
How do you know that? I'm always
Because that's what
wondering-
sentience means. It means that they have a subjective experience and that they have the capability to both positive and negative valence emotions. That's what sentience is by definition.
I will I will check the verb because I don't know it. I don't know what sentience
That's
is.
fine. That's fine.
But
Listen, I'll just give you a card. How about I do this? I give you a
Okay.
card
okay.
because I don't want to keep you too long. Just watch Dominion and see how you really feel about it. Honestly, I don't think you should be
But-
paying for this. I can't see what you will do. You
Yes.
know, I
But
just think you should think
No,
for
but-
yourself and see if you're actually okay with it.
I try to think for myself all my life. The point is, now when we, you simply, my English is not good enough
That's okay,
to
that's
explain
okay.
that in the right words, but it's, when we're talking about rules and you say abortion is all right because of some reasons.
Well, it's
You go
there's
to-
a
you go
logical
to-
justification
yes,
for it. Yeah.
you have you
Yeah.
have built up a kind of logic.
No, I haven't built it up. Morality only applies to sentient beings. There's no morality for objects. If I break a cup, it's not bad for the cup.
Okay,
If I kill a sentient being, it is bad for the sentient
but
being.
how do you know? Now look, let's
Because I know who can suffer and not. We have science behind that. It's
we
not-
have science,
yeah.
but we don't have the science. We already had science 500 years or at least 200 years
It's
ago.
not the same. The science we have already is established. The way science improves right now is incremental.
No,
It's no longer earth defining, and even at those
Of course,
times,
but-
we already knew that animals are
Yes,
sentient.
but-
Even at those
but,
times.
When Einstein came, all the old physics have gone.
No, that's the Einstein only redefined the physics of at the planet level or the planetary level, but he didn't redefine the physics at Newtonian physics. Newtonian physics still apply. On this planet, gravity is still gravity. The Einstein only defined why
Yes.
there is a gravity.
The
Defined
thing is-
only how at the micro scale and at the macro scale what happens. But at our current scale, the Newtonian physics still apply.
Yes, but the thing is that science in 100 years will look totally different than it looks now.
With the basis that we have now, yes. With the basis
So-
that we have
no.
now.
No.
Bases won't change. There's almost no shot that bases will change, especially in something that's been so established. Plus, what exactly are we debating right now? Are you debating the fact that animals are sentient, or are we debating the fact that sentience is important? What are you saying now?
I'm saying that your decision builds up on a certain logic,
Yeah, I respect women's rights.
and this certain logic
Yeah.
is supported by what you think is science.
No. It's supported not by cherry-picked science. It's supported by established science.
By
I don't
established science,
cherry-pick my
but
studies.
A lot of these established science.
Listen, I used to
that's-
think a lot of the
that's
things you
established
did, I
nowadays.
changed actually. I changed
Yeah.
based on the empirical evidence. I used to think like you. I changed based on my empirical evidence, okay? I am willing to change. As a lot of people who are in my chat already knows, I change when proved wrong. But that's the thing about you. If you're proved wrong and you say I won't change because science will change anyway, that doesn't mean that you are already proved wrong. You need to change. And science does not change. Science adapts. That's the difference. There's a difference between adaptation and change.
Yes, and you say, but when it adapts for a while, it can lead to a big change.
Sure, and when it will, we can change our opinions. But meanwhile, we gotta follow the scientific consensus.
Is that so?
Yeah, that's so, of course, because that's how this is the world you live in. You have a phone that's made because of the scientific consensus. You're wearing clothes that the manufacturing of it is a process that was coming out of scientific consensus. If we find a way to make that process more efficient, to create better clothes, to create better phones, it doesn't invalidate all the science that we had before it. It adds on top of it and makes it better. So it's the same
But
thing.
it sometimes changes to look at the world, you know.
No, the change is the way that we look at the world. This is very unscientific to say that the way we look at the world changes. Do you think the Earth is flat?
But if I would use your arguments, I would say, of course it's flat. You can see that it's flat, and
My argument is that
it's a
scientific
it's
says
proven, and
it's not proven
flat
that the Earth
since
is flat. What do you
so
mean? My
many-
argument
so
is that I
many
have
years,
empirical
you know.
evidence for it. My arguments are literally I have empirical evidence for it. Your arguments are that I do what I want. My argument is
Yes,
pro-science.
all
I
right.
have empirical evidence behind
Okay.
any and single claim that I
All
make.
right, but I stay with that. You do what you want.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Okay.
And I do what I want.
So if I want to kill,
That's it.
if I want to kill humans, it's all okay. I do what I want at the end of the day.
No.
No.
If you do it in a context, in a culture that doesn't accept it,
And
then
that
you
makes it
shouldn't do
okay.
it.
And if it's a culture that accepts killing humans, that means killing humans is okay.
Now look, just to go back to this abortion thing, there are people in this world that really think that doing an abortion is killing a human being.
Perhaps, but those people are not very intelligent because an abortion is the termination of a pregnancy. It's not about killing somebody. Abortion is healthcare access. Abortion is the right of somebody to healthcare. It's the right of a woman to have access to healthcare. Abortion is not up to your choice. It's a medical procedure. It's up to the experts to decide whether
That's
abortion
right,
is
that's right.
moral or not.
It's up to the experts.
Yeah, so
So-
the experts, when they define the termination of the pregnancy, they clearly say between 24 and 48 weeks. That's when the sentience that's when the fetus develops sentience. It's never a human baby. It's always a fetus. And after a certain amount, abortion, the termination of pregnancy, actually means forced pregnancy. So it's kind of bullshit because there's such a small period when we actually kill a sentient being, and in all those circumstances, it's because of absolute necessity to save the life of an actual sentient human being who is carrying that baby. Before that, they're just cells. Before that, they're not an actual sentient being. They're not a somebody.
That's what you
No.
what you think.
No, that's science. That's why we know
of
science.
Today.
Yeah.
But that may not be the science in 50 years.
If you reject the science of today, you reject the science of 50 years for the same reason. If you go in 50 years, you'll say the same thing, won't you?
No.
Well, that's the science of today. That's not the science of 50 years from the future. You can always say that. I can literally go in absolutely any single moment in the future and say this is the science of today. It's not the science of 50 years from now.
Yes.
And deny everything that science says.
Absolutely right.
So that's
We are
very
not-
easy to
we are
deny
not-
science, is it not?
We are not at the end of evolution. That's not the end.
Who was talking
It's
about
not the end
evolution?
of
We were
science.
talking about
It's not the end of
something else here.
science.
Whatever. Listen,
been
I
talking about abortion, by the way.
I respect human rights. I respect women's rights. I respect animals' rights.
that's what I
if
do
you
as
choose,
well.
you don't respect women's rights if you're against abortion. I'm sorry, but you don't. You don't. You really
Of course
don't.
I do.
No, you don't. You respect.
You-
You don't respect
I
them.
don't say to you, you don't respect the human beings.
But I can
If you-
formulate an argument on why you don't respect women's rights. Would you like to understand that? Because when you're faced with when the choice between a sentient woman, a sentient woman's life, or a sentient woman's choice, or a non-sentient group of cells, you think we should prioritize the non-sentient group of cells?
You go to one point, and you say that you constitute, and you say that's non-sentient.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
How could you know? I
Do you
will-
know where sentience comes from?
No.
It's an emerging property of
I
brains.
just said, I don't even know the word. A few hundred years ago, before telescopes and such things were invented, people looked at the stars and they saw something totally different from what we see now.
No, there were scientists also there explaining all of the stuff. It's
Okay.
it's insane the fact that
It's all
the fact
right.
that you use the justification of, well, culture was saying this 100 years ago. Culture is saying this 100 years ago. You're just proving exactly my point. You go by what culture says and not what science says. You go what by culture says and not why it's logical and foundational. You just go by what culture says, what people say. People were saying this. People
I'm
are
not
saying
going by
this
what
now.
People say.
Well, then you should look it up, because science has not actually changed that much in 50 years, and there's been no revolutionary change towards it. And if
Okay,
you
then-
think
then
otherwise,
wait,
that must
wait.
mean that you
Okay,
actually
what-
do follow
We
what
should
everybody
not
else
talk-
says.
Then let's not talk about 50 years. Let's talk about 200 years, something like that.
Sure, it has not changed that much also, but whatever. You know, it's only only when it comes to the theory of relativity, which accounts for the macro scale. Those weren't even have changed, by the way, because there were scientists before Einstein who were working on this. Einstein merely used the work that other scientists have done and developed a theory.
I'm
So
not a
it was
physician,
still.
but I know that science changes.
Sure, but I was here to speak about animals. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I
I'm
hope you
sorry.
watched that video, and I
I-
hope you respect the rights of everybody, because everybody deserves
I
to have
hope
rights.
you expect the rights of everybody as well.
Sure.
You will do
Sure. Hi, do you want to have a conversation with me?
Yes.
Are you okay being live on my YouTube channel?
Oh, yeah, sure.
I guess you heard some of the conversation
Yeah,
there.
a little bit. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm very curious actually because it almost sounded like you were having a fight.
Whatever. I hate when people are against abortion. Are you pro-choice? How are you?
Yes, I am pro-choice, but I
Yeah.
do understand. Well, what he kind of seemed to say about like science having changed. You know, science is not like a finished project. It's a conversation.
Yeah, it
It's
adapts.
one scientist, he says something and others have to do a peer review, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's like you cannot really say science says this, because even like during the pandemic, for example, there were many different voices actually.
I'm just saying it adapts. I'm just saying that's the quality of science. That's why you should trust science, because it adapts. You shouldn't trust the source that is static. You should trust something that adapts. When there is new empirical evidence, you go by the new empirical evidence, because that's essentially what it means. If we find stronger evidence for something, we should trust something that has stronger evidence for it. But anyway, I'm an animal rights activist. I fight for the rights of animals. Do you think animals deserve rights?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
What rights do you think animals deserve?
I think the right not to be treated like property.
Okay, I like that. Okay.
Yeah, I think that that's something that nowadays, for example, in the meat industry, for example, you can see that animals are treated like a commodity,
Yeah.
and that especially in Holland, that really are treated like as something to squeeze as much profit out of as possible, like or make them as fat as possible. Even though I think nowadays is better than 10 or 15 years ago, but
But they're still treated like property, aren't they? Now?
yes, and I think most people I think don't really care. At least it doesn't really reflect in like their meat consumption or something.
Are you vegan?
No, I'm not vegan. I actually eat meat, but I try to buy it like organic meat, biological meat.
Do you think those animals are not treated like property?
They are, yes.
Yeah. So do you think you need to consume any animal products?
I think I might need to, yes.
What if you were to find out that we don't need to consume any animal products?
But it is very delicious, and also tied to culture, cultural dishes and stuff. A lot of dishes, Dutch dishes, have meat in them, meat and butter and
But does that justify the oppression that animals go through? The fact that it's tasty or that everybody does it?
not justify it. No, I think you just have to, if you want to eat animal products, you kind of have to accept
That you're cruel to
that
animals?
you're kind of an asshole.
Okay. Well, I'll accept that.
Yeah,
It's kind of it's a being mean to animals at the end of the day, isn't it?
it is. You could also call it nature,
Yeah.
because animals do it to each other as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But animals in nature, they do it out of necessity, right? We don't do it out of necessity, though. We do it because we want to. We do it because, as you said, pleasure and culture.
yeah, that could be.
Yeah. Do you think you, if for example the animals that we exploit normally, like cows, chickens, and pigs, will no longer, I don't know, there's a virus and they all get eradicated, do you think, would you continue consuming meat from dogs, cats, and such?
No, I don't think so.
No? But what if it was really tasty and the culture would adapt to consume meat, cats, and
Well,
dogs?
if the culture would adapt, we would adapt. We
Yeah.
are the culture.
Yeah.
So I guess
So if everybody around you would adapt and start eating cats and dogs, would you do it though?
with my knowledge of now, no. But
No.
if the culture adapts in 50 years and we all kind of start introducing this into our diet, I think that many people would start doing it.
Okay, but if you wouldn't do it with your knowledge from now, then I'm trying to understand, because what is from your knowledge from now that's saying it's wrong to do this to cats and dogs, but it's okay to do it to cows, chickens, and pigs?
Yeah, culture, history.
Yeah.
That's the simple answer.
But
It's
culture is just
I
like-
grew up in this way. You know, even if it is man-made culture, it is still culture, and it's still the only culture I know coming from here, being Dutch.
But do you think culture morally justifies oppression?
No,
No.
but it is a way of framing the animal industry as oppression, and then asking like, do you agree with oppression? That's
But it is oppression, animal agriculture. It is cruel and unjust, is it not? That's
I
the definition of
think
oppression.
you think it's cruel and unjust.
Do you not think it's cruel and unjust?
I find it very hard to answer, actually,
Why is that?
because
If it were dogs, would it be cruel and unjust?
honestly, I've never really understood the way people freak out about like some cultures eating dogs and guinea pigs and stuff, because I always thought like, you know, maybe they think like in India they would think it's insane to eat a cow, whereas to us it's the most regular kind of meat that we consume.
So it's the same.
It's not the same, because culturally I reject it and I'm disgusted by it when people eat a cute dog. But
But do you find it cruel or unjust?
apparently not enough to stop doing it.
Okay.
But I do think it's worth like investing in like organic meat that
What-
at least is not tortured during life, only during death.
Those are just labels for you, by the way. They don't really mean anything to the animals. All animals are killed as babies, including in the biological industries. They're just labels for the consumer. Because, like, if they can treat animals well, why would they choose to treat some of them nicely and some of them badly? Why would the same
Ideology.
company? No, it's just because they want to get more money out of you. That's it. They only treat animals well because consumers demand it. They don't treat animals well because they care about animals. If torturing animals would make for a better product, they would torture animals, and they would find a way to market it so that consumers would be supporting the torture. So this is all it is. Well, this cultural thing that you're supporting is nothing more than marketing that has been sold to you. Because clearly you see it when it comes to other animals, dogs and cats, you have this repulsion towards it. You clearly think that this shouldn't be done to them. But when it comes to these other animals, you seem to think that it's okay because, as you said, it's cultural, it's normal to you.
Yes.
But why not question it? Why this is normal and this isn't? After all, if I force a dog into a slaughterhouse, do they feel differently than if I force a cow into a slaughterhouse? I think the victim feels the same, in my opinion.
Yes, but I don't disagree. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But still, I don't think I'm really willing to completely cut it out of my diet because these cultural things and this, yeah, and I guess also in a way health reasons they are important.
No, you can be healthy on a plant-based diet.
You can.
Yeah, there's no issues there. And I would argue that there's actually better health outcomes on a plant-based diet because the number one killer today is heart disease, and the biggest correlation with heart disease is increased cholesterol and a lot of saturated fat. Both of them come from animal fat, so from animal products.
This is like not a scientific argument, but I have seen like many videos of people who were previously vegan and they had all these like shortages in vitamin shortages or something because of it, because of diet. I'm sure that maybe they just had a bad diet. Like in university,
yeah.
I had a friend who was vegan, but she ate like white bread and potato chip sandwiches.
That's the problem. Most people who go vegan, they usually the biggest problem is that most people are used to eating instinctively. So when they feel full, when they feel like they need to eat, they will eat. If they don't feel like they need to eat, they won't eat. And the problem is when you switch to a plant-based diet, you eat a lot of fiber, and the foods have more water, and they will occupy more space in your stomach. Your stomach says it's full based on space, not based on calories. So for example, you could eat watermelon only and feel full, but not eat enough calories. That's what those people usually end up doing. They usually end up not eating enough calories. That's why they lose weight. That's why they become anorexic. A lot of these people who say they're former vegans, they're usually because they didn't eat right. But veganism, by the way, it's not a diet. Veganism is to animals what feminism is to women. It's about respecting their rights. So
not everyone would agree with you.
doesn't matter. That's the definition. It doesn't matter whether they agree with me or not. Plant-based diets is the diet, but veganism itself is a moral principle of respecting animals, of rejecting their exploitation. That's the person who invented veganism said it. So
what is your theory? Why do people like me continue who because I don't think I'm a bad person. So how do you think people
cultural
like me
programming.
justified it?
It's cultural programming. Somebody told you it's okay. Like if you lived during slavery times, so somebody would have told you that enslaving those humans is okay because of X, Y, and Z. And people just go along with it without questioning it.
But that isn't completely true because during slavery times, there were many people who actually were against it. And even in the beginning, like already in like 14 and 1500s, who said this is horrible what we're doing.
Yeah. Well, there are millions of people who are against what we do to animals also now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that it's a way smaller percentage because as opposed to slavery, with slavery you would have seen it. With animal slavery, with what we do right now, you don't see it. We built a society where all of this is out of sight, out of mind. You go into a supermarket, you see a neatly packaged product, you buy a neatly packaged product, you don't know about any of the horrors that those animals have suffered. When you turn on the TV and you see an advertising for an animal product, you see a happy animal and then the product. You don't see all of the exploitation, the fact that they were sexually exploited, the fact that their babies were taken from them, all of this kind of stuff, you don't see it. So, and all of this is, by the way, animal agriculture keeps it very tight. Farmers lie about it. Like I've spoken to so many farmers and they always lie about it. Corporations lie to you about it because they want you to buy their products. Like they have a financial incentive for you to buy. So they will tell you that I don't care. I don't have a financial incentive in this game. I literally just want to speak about animals. And
This is a very interesting argument. I completely agree, actually.
Yeah.
I remember as a child reading Little House on the Prairie books.
yeah,
I don't know if you've read them.
no, I have
But
not. Yeah.
these are like about American pioneers, like American pioneer family. They always describe how they would have a pig and they would feed it for the whole year, and then they would salt the pig and make ham out of it, and then they would make sausages, and they would dry or smoke it in like a tree with fire underneath. And I think that if we had to butcher the animals ourselves, we would be a lot more mindful about the way we consume it. And actually, I would love that. I would honestly, if it was not like almost impossible to buy land in Holland, then because it's such a small country.
Yeah.
We have such few land, so little land, so it's very expensive to buy it. But then I would love to have like a homestead and.
But homestead is still using animals. I don't think
Yes,
I don't
yes.
think it's any better if you pay somebody to kill animals or you kill them yourself. It's the same thing to the
It's
animal.
more mindful. It's more mindful.
It's the same as saying it's more mindful if instead of paying somebody to get me a slave, I get a slave myself. It's the same. It's the same thing. They're still a
You're
victim.
making very radical analogies.
I'm only making radical analogies because this is the only injustice that we both agree on, that slavery is an injustice. Because you don't seem to agree that what we do to animals is an injustice, so I'm using an example of another injustice so that I can show you the absurdity of it. To you, in your mind, what we do to animals is not an injustice, but to me, it's just as much as an injustice as slavery was. They're both absurd, the fact that we continue supporting them. It's just that you have been programmed your whole life thinking it's okay, that you can no longer see it as an injustice. And it takes time, of course, for somebody like you or other people. They continuously need to, even for me, when I became vegan, it took me a while to continuously, I got exposed for a while until I became vegan, because at first it sounds ridiculous, but then if you think from their perspective, they're nothing more than humans that work on 4 legs and are not as intelligent as us. And we have several humans on this planet who are as intelligent as animals, and yet we protect them. We don't.
But there are a couple of presumptions here because I'm trying to follow
Yeah.
you. You can lead a healthy diet without meat and animal product.
Definitely.
Which you say is true and I say is not true.
Well,
and
I'm
we
a
both
certified
have
nutritionist.
sources.
I'm a certified nutritionist.
Uh-huh.
The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics is the largest organization of nutritionists and dietetics on the planet.
Okay.
They always put up statements for people regarding their nutrition and diets. They're not a vegetarian or vegan organization. They don't have any incentive in that game. And they said that the plant-based diet is suitable for all ages and stages of life. They remade that statement this year now, and they removed the child age, because I still think it's safe for children to be vegan. I have several friends who have their children vegan, but they removed that because there was a study that was saying that children need to be supplemented omega-3s and calcium, I think, something like that. So they're no longer recommending it for children unless they said they're going to make a special recommendation for children. But every other person, it's okay. There's empirical evidence, like meta-analysis, as you said, the fact that we can have a perfectly healthy life on a plant-based diet. That you can build muscle, that's always a slightly different concern, because also calling it healthy is, it's a bit of a stretch. It's which particular health does it affect?
But I will say, like in the prehistoric times, for example, humans did like instinctively at some point want to kill animals. So I'm doing this.
We
like,
did it out of
just
necessity,
here.
yeah.
Out of necessity.
Yeah, well,
Because we needed to feel full.
we needed to have calories in. That's no longer the issue today. Like,
Okay.
also the reason why our brains developed when we consumed meat wasn't because meat was special in any way, but rather because we could put a lot of calories in. Animal products are they're energy dense. That means they have a lot of calories, and plant-based products are nutrient based. They have a lot of micronutrients.
So the theory is pretty much that, or it seems to be that you kind of do need the nutrients from animal products, but
No.
nowadays we have ways to substitute them. But is that accessible to all people?
So let me rephrase.
Because
You need the nutrients. The
Yes.
source doesn't matter. If you can get the nutrients from plants, it's good. If you can get the nutrients from animals, it's good. But you need nutrients.
So you need a lot of knowledge also.
I can provide you with that. That's no issue.
Well, for
I
me
understand.
It's no issue, but of course it's the
Yeah, like
majority of people. Like
yeah. Well, that's why nowadays.
maybe people who are not going to read all these books.
So one of the only micronutrients that you can't get from plants is B12. Well, you can get it from plants, but it has to be synthesized. But B12 normally would come from animal products, but animals were getting it from a bacteria that was on the ground. And because of our industrial farming, that bacteria no longer exists. So nowadays, including in Netherlands, cows are actually fed B12 themselves. And this happened actually when I was vegetarian. I wasn't vegan. I was consuming animal products. I think including fish. I was pescatarian, I think. And I still had the B12 deficiency, so bad that I had to take injections because I was taking it from biological sources, like you are now. And from biological sources, actually, the B12 is not always given. It's because even in the Netherlands, it's a recommendation to give it to animals. It's not a mandate to give them to animals. So I would say be careful even with that, because biological sources, they're all about natural and making it in a natural way for the animal. So
Yeah.
giving them a supplement does not seem natural to them, so they sometimes avoid it. But yeah, like
Are you worried that going vegan is too much for most people? Like for me, I am very conscious about my meat consumption. I do eat meat, but not every day, for example. But
dairy products are just as bad, by the way. I know meat is, we see meat because it's pretty clearly harmful, but dairy cows are sexually exploited, babies are taken from them, we kill their babies,
sexually exploit, you mean like by the farmer?
yeah,
Oh.
because cows produce milk only if they have a baby. So farmers
oh, that
don't,
way you mean. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
farmers
I
don't
thought you
just
meant something else.
no, farmers don't just wait until they get pregnant. They
No,
get
it's
them pregnant.
inseminated.
Yeah,
We
they
are
inseminate
seeing
them.
how it
yeah.
happens,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's, I would say that's sexual exploitation. Still, if it's it doesn't matter if it's a sexual pleasure that we get out of it. It's a sexual act that we do it so that we get them pregnant. And when the babies are born, we separate them from their mothers. Do you know why we separate them?
Yes, no, I know it. It's
Yeah.
very sad.
Yeah, we kill them if they're male, and if they're female, we do this every year. And at some point, we also kill them. Do you know why we kill them at some point also then?
I think because they no longer give milk or something.
They can't get them pregnant anymore. I don't know. I just to me that
is
sounds
horrible.
that
I
is
agree.
horrible. Yeah, and it happens across the board. Like it's like a variation of this is in biological small farms. I come from Romania. I saw it in my grandmother's backyard. A variation of it. It's not nice. It's just not something I think we should be doing. And the thing is, you live in the Netherlands. I live in the Netherlands. There's just so many alternatives. We have so many choices today, that to choose to do this to an animal, to me, I find it so cruel and unnecessary. And I understand it's a thing of education for most people, so I can't really blame
and culture
people.
and history, and culture is very hard to shed.
Yeah.
That's a very for example, I'm very tied to the dishes, the national dishes that my grandmother made for me, for example.
But you can adapt them. That's the
I
thing,
can
right?
adapt them, but
Yeah.
they won't taste the same.
But the
and
difference.
it won't be the same. It won't be as delicious. And
But imagine just how nice it is if you take a culture that you have, like for stampot or whatever it is, right? You adapt them. Stampot is one of the dishes that I know that are Dutch. And you adapt them, you make them plant-based. And what you're doing essentially is you're trying to maintain the culture while removing the cruelty from the culture. What could be, and there might be a taste difference. But is that really
unfortunately,
worth
because
it?
we don't all agree on the culture and on the cruelty part. I kind of agree with you, and I already told you I accept that.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I don't feel strongly enough about it to actually quit. But I think many people will not agree with you that it's cruelty,
I know.
or they don't care enough about it. I have friends who tell me, I just don't really care about this kind of stuff. Same with environmental issues. I have friends who say that.
Yeah, there's a difference though, because from the environment, because this is just a direct victim. It's not a maybe yes, maybe no. It's a pretty clear direct victim of an animal. But how about I do this? I give you a card. That's why I leaned over there to get the cards. There's a video you can watch and just judge for yourself if you want to be part of it or not. The Dominion is the first thing that appears on top. If you
Okay.
scan this QR code. And then if you decide that you don't want to be part of any of it, Challenge 22 is there. It's somewhere down the page. They hook you up with a nutritionist. They send you recipes every day, and they help you go vegan for free.
Okay. What is the name of your channel?
Oh, you have also my YouTube channel here. It's That's Chip Guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having this card. What was your name again?
Lara.
Lara. I'm Chip. Lara.
Nice to meet you.
I mean, watch that. Promise me you'll watch that
I will
video.
watch.
Okay,
I will
I
watch.
appreciate you. Have a
Bye.
good one. Bye. You want to have a conversation with me?
Yeah, I'm just curious what you're doing.
I'm asking people some questions, get them to think a little bit, but give me 1 second. Let me just drink some water. I'm on YouTube actually. You want to try it?
Sure. Is it hard?
No. I'm just exploring people's values more than anything.
Oh, interesting.
So, do you think it's wrong to exploit humans?
To exploit humans?
Yeah.
What do you mean by exploit?
It means treat them unfairly, use them unfairly.
I think everyone's exploit, like more or less somehow.
Can you come a bit here?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's wrong.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think it's wrong to exploit animals also?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that animal exploitation is inherent in animal agriculture? That means that animal agriculture depends on animal exploitation.
Um, yeah, I mean, for the animal part, yes. For the farming part, I mean, growing things, that's a different topic.
Yeah, like I mean, like growing plants and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But like the actual bringing to life animals only to use them and then kill them. Do you think that's exploitative?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Are you part of it in any way? Do you support it?
Yeah, I mean, like implicitly supported by eating meat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you think you can stop doing that?
I think it would be great if I stopped doing that, but I think right now I'm not able to do that.
Why?
Uh, because I think there are not many good vegetarian food available here.
You live here in the Netherlands,
Yeah, in the city.
and there's not enough good options.
I mean, there are, but I don't find them very tasty, to be honest. In Asia, I think there are more. There are better vegetarian options.
What do you mean? Like what options do you mean?
I feel like here, I've been to a few vegetarian restaurants, and the food there is like not so tasty. They are either fried too much, too greasy, or yeah, just not so tasty.
Have you tried all of the vegan restaurants?
Not everyone, but I've been to a few.
Do you only eat out in restaurants?
No, I also
You cook
cook.
at home also? So
Yeah.
at home, do you think you can cook plant-based dishes?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Is there any justification for supporting exploitation of animals?
By cooking at home.
Yeah, by cooking at home or going out, and the same reason. Like I feel like you say that it's the taste, but do you really think that a sensory pleasure like taste justifies exploitation?
Yeah, now I feel guilty.
That's okay. That's okay. That's a good feeling. That's a good thing to have because we're doing something bad to animals. That's the reality.
Yeah, yeah, I think you are right. Yeah,
Yeah. What would you call a person that does not support exploitation at all?
a kind person, environment friendly.
A vegan.
Yeah, vegan.
Yeah. Yeah. So veganism is a moral principle of rejecting animal exploitation. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, agree.
Yeah. So what do you want to do going forward? Like I by the way, you can say whatever you want, but I want you to be honest, because I'm not going to police you in any way. But what do you want to do going forward? And try to detach yourself a little bit from what you get, the benefits that you get from it. I'm curious, what do you want to do morally? Do you want to continue supporting the exploitation of animals?
Yeah, I wish not, but it's a bit hard. I think I may try to eat less meat. Yeah, but it's a
And
long
dairy
process.
products, eggs, all of them, they still exploit animals.
Yeah, probably. I think you cannot change it in one day. It takes time, maybe over the months or years. Like, yeah, have a more balanced diet.
But when you go to a supermarket and you pick up a product that's an animal product, there's cruelty behind it. How
Yeah.
do you justify buying it?
Yeah, that's as you mentioned. Yeah, we shouldn't, but yeah, also we can now stop buying it like tomorrow. I mean, for
Why not? You're going to a supermarket. Is anybody forcing you
it's
to
a
buy a
habit.
product?
I mean, to change a habit, it takes time.
Yeah, it takes like 30 days to change a habit.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me give you a card actually. So there's a thing here called Challenge 22. They help you curb a habit. They hook you up with a nutritionist. They send you recipes every day. And they help you adopt a plant-based diet for free.
Okay. Okay.
But you know,
So cute.
just promise me one thing. Scan this QR code and watch either the Minion or the most important speech you'll ever hear. You don't have to do it now.
Oh.
Just when you get home or something.
Okay. Okay.
Just one of these two. They appear on top. Look, you'll see them. Either the Minion or this one, Gary Yurovsky, the most important
Okay.
speech. Promise me you'll watch one of these two?
Yes, I will do that.
Just
Yeah,
to
this
learn about
weekend.
animal agriculture.
Okay.
And see if you're actually for it or against it. And if you're not, look, I'm sorry for scrolling on your phone. Then Challenge 22, this one, they help you go vegan. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate you so much. What's your name?
Tintin.
Tintin.
Yeah.
Nice to
What's
meet you.
your
I'm
name?
Chip.
What's your name?
Chip.
Chip.
Chip,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Have an awesome day. Bye. One conversation after the other, everybody. Hello and welcome to the stream if you're new here. She's fragile, she won't watch it. Who knows? Who knows?
Can you
Yeah.
tell me how can I go Danby Square?
To
from
Dam
here?
Square.
Yeah,
Yeah, that direction straight ahead. You have to walk for like 15 minutes, yeah.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Straight?
Yeah, I think mostly straight. You follow the tram line.
This line.
Follow the
Road
tram
or
line.
Tram line? Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Yeah, I think even this tram line might go towards it.
This road, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So just go
Straight.
go towards where the tram line goes for this one, yeah.
Then I don't have to go right and left. Is that
No,
okay?
just go right.
So right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
And follow the tram line. Cheers.
Part of your experiment?
Sure. Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
You like?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your name?
I'm Aleen.
I'm Chip. Nice to meet you.
Nice
Where are
to
you
meet
from?
I'm from Pakistan.
From Pakistan. Okay. So I'm an animal rights activist. I fight for the rights of animals. Do you think animals deserve rights?
Of course.
What rights do you think they deserve?
First of all, the right to live. You know,
Yeah.
I'm totally against animal cruelty, and they should be the animal needs to be respected. They have feelings, they have emotions. So
Yeah.
of course.
I like that. Are you vegan?
I'm not.
Do you think that then you might be paying for animal cruelty?
Like Neil deGrasse Tyson says that if you leave the animals in the jungle, their life expectancy is way less than they will actually get in domesticated settings.
Does that justify animal cruelty?
It's justified because if the carnivores, they have to do the same thing, then of course as humans, it's also a part of our food group.
So wait, just to be clear, the fact that if animals were to be in the wild, they would be eaten by carnivore justifies us bringing
No,
to
this-
life
this
animals
does not justify
only so
this.
that we can exploit them and kill
Our
them.
anatomy justifies that.
Our anatomy. What's part of our anatomy
Okay,
justifies
right.
it?
So we have the intestine that is not extremely long like herbivores.
Okay. But we can digest plants, right?
We can digest raw meat as well.
So if we can digest both, how can we justify, and if we can be healthy on both, how can we justify choosing to exploit and kill an animal?
Right. So a little bit history, I'll tell you that they said that once the hunter-gatherers started consuming proteins, high protein diet through animal hunting, this is where they developed the muscles, brains, and everything else. So I'm that part of the group.
Again, all of that is because we were consuming more calories, not because we were consuming animal-based protein. But I'm curious because we started this conversation saying that animals deserve the right to live. You said they have feelings, they have emotions,
Exactly,
and now you're
exactly.
justifying cruelty towards them.
There's a way of not torturing animals to death to eat them.
Do you think there's any way to not be cruel to an animal when you bring them to
But
life to
there's-
kill them for an optional product?
If it's for food. If
For an
it's-
optional food?
it's a requirement food.
No,
Are you
no,
vegan?
it's optional food, yeah.
You're vegan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I respect animals. That's
I
why I'm
respect
vegan.
you that you're vegan. So
Sure.
because
Of course you respect me because I respect animals. There's nothing to
That's
not
okay.
respect about
but
me.
it's the thing is if you're keeping the animals in inhumane conditions, like in a small cage.
Why is that bad?
Because that's.
So
that
that's
stresses the
bad,
animal,
but cutting their throat is okay.
It's a humane way to consuming guns.
So
that's
wait,
what I-
it's humane means with
You don't
compassion
even
and
eat fish.
benevolence. No, of course not. I don't. I
So
respect animals.
if an animal dies of a natural death, would you eat it?
Well, no, personally, because I still respect animals. But if you have a problem, if you find somebody accidentally hit an animal with your car and you want to eat that,
Yeah, you
I
will
would
feel
not say
bad.
anything about it. My
Yeah.
problem is with the fact that you're supporting bringing to life animals only to exploit and kill them. Violence towards animals, and you were just starting by saying that animals have feelings, they have emotions, and they deserve the right to live.
The B12 vitamins and all the B vitamins, you need to get supplements if you're not eating meat, right?
Sure, so get supplements. Why
So,
is that a
there-
problem?
There was a time there was no supplements invented.
But that's no
So
longer
these
the
are
problem.
That's not longer the problem. But still, instead of breeding animals and giving them longer life, normally they were expected in wild, and
Wait,
consuming
no,
them.
first of all, that's not true. Animals, take for instance chickens. Chickens can live 10 years old. How long do you think they live on our
Right, like
farms?
we
At
developed-
what age do you think we kill them?
We developed chicken. The
At
breed
what
that
age do you think they kill
the
them?
breed we have developed.
Sure, but at what age do you think they kill them?
The breed we have developed does not exist in the wild.
Sure, so at what age do you think we kill them?
That's natural that a chick.
Can you please answer my question?
Sorry.
What age
That's
do you
what
think
I'm
we kill
saying.
the chickens at?
That's what I'm saying. That's not natural age.
Okay.
That's an artificial process.
So they can
of
live
selective
10 years
breeding.
old?
No, they if you leave a broiler chicken in the wild, it won't survive a day.
Sure. So we
Won't
bring
survive
them.
a day.
Sure, that's not true. But we bring chickens to life. Chickens can live 10 years old, and we kill them also. At what age do you think we kill them?
I'm not sure. You tell me.
42 days.
42 days.
Yeah.
40
So they
in
can live
42
10 years, and we kill them at 42 days.
But do you
They're babies.
that
We kill
you
baby
know,
animals
my
for
question to you
optional
is
food.
like if you have selective breeding of dogs.
That's wrong, yes.
Right? It's wrong?
Yes.
Then selective breeding of birds is also wrong?
Yes.
So you do not support that?
I do not support touching the
something that
genital of
becomes
animals because we get benefit
something
from
that
it.
gets some full potential.
Do you think sexual
in 42
exploitation is okay if we get benefit from it?
But if you're vegan, you're eating the ovaries of the plants.
Well, plants are not sentient.
No, if there's a sentient alien form comes here,
But
and
there
tells you-
isn't, is there?
If there is,
And if there is, they'll understand exactly the same thing I would understand if I were to go on a planet where the plants would be sentient. I would not eat the plants on that planet if the plants are sentient. It's the same thing, right? We respect sentient life because
Alright.
sentient means that they
so
have
that also
moral
has
worth.
the cold-blooded animals. Can we eat them? Are they
No,
sentient?
because they
They're
are
not.
sentient.
They are not.
If they have a
Bugs.
brain, they are sentient.
Bugs.
If they have a brain, they are sentient.
We kill germs.
I just fail to understand how does any of this morally justify you supporting the breeding, exploitation, and slaughter of
it's,
innocent sentient
I
beings.
mean, for me, it's my point of view. You may disagree with that, but I think.
But your point of view was also that animals should have the right to live and that they have emotions
like,
and that
I
should be
will
respected.
clarify that one. That's right.
Okay, so
There
unless
are-
they're
there-
the
there-
animal that you
there-
don't
no,
prefer,
they-
right?
They're animals that are for our. We breed them for our consumption. We kill them in a humane way.
And that's moral. Wait, what do you mean? Humane means with compassion and benevolence. Please tell me how you can kill somebody with compassion and benevolence. Somebody who doesn't need to
Painless,
die.
Kind of painless.
So if I
Okay?
kill you, it's with compassion and benevolence.
Yeah, no, you cannot.
Painless.
Yeah,
I
of
kill you
course, of course,
painlessly.
of course.
That's
No,
with compassion and benevolence.
you
That's
cannot-
humane.
No, you cannot equalize. For example, if you put a foot on ants, a group of ants.
If you do
by
it
mistake,
intentionally, it's
yeah,
bad.
Yeah,
But
oh,
you don't
sorry,
do this
if
by mistake, you
yeah,
do it
by mistake. That's what
intentionally.
I'm saying. If you do it,
But
and
you do
will
this
feel better.
intentionally.
You won't feel exactly the same way for a human if you hit someone by mistake. You will feel much.
No, I feel
Yeah.
just as bad for killing a bug as I would a
You have an
human
emotional
being.
connection with your own species.
That doesn't matter. It's still
You do
unfair
not-
what we do to
You do not
animals.
feel for the other species.
Doesn't matter. So wait, if I don't feel about killing you, that makes it moral for me to kill you?
Sorry, say again.
If I don't have any emotions towards killing you, then it makes it moral for me to kill you?
No, it's not because that.
So there you
does
go.
not-
What you just
it
said
does not
doesn't really
justify-
matter.
No, you cannot equate animals with humans.
Yes, we can, because humans are animals. We are primates. We are part of the
yeah.
animalia. What is the morally significant difference between human beings and animals that
Because
justifies the difference in
We
treatment?
can think. That's why we are.
So if we find a human being who can think just like an animal can, with the
If an
same
animal
cognitive
will start
abilities,
talking,
then we can exploit and slaughter
an
them?
animal will start having conversation.
What
all
did I
the
just answer? What did I
Emotional range of humans. I'll say that
Animals have the
this
same
animal-
emotional
no,
range of
this,
humans.
This don't kill. So that's why people do not try to eat dogs in China, except that's different.
Pigs are more intelligent than
Yeah,
dogs.
all right. So they don't
Do
try.
you eat pigs?
Sorry, no.
Do you
I
eat
don't.
pigs?
I don't.
No? Is it because of your religion?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so, but pigs are more intelligent than dogs, and cows are the same
No, I mean,
cognitive
they
abilities
do
as
not
dogs.
Have,
Cows play fetch, they have zoomies.
Mhm.
How is it morally justified to exploit them? And why is intelligence
Mhm.
a good enough justifier to exploit and slaughter sentient beings?
So
if you're not as intelligent as me, do I have the
There-
justification
there are,
to kill
there
you?
are still tribes in the world that eat humans, correct?
And you say it's moral.
No, it's not.
So then why do we care what they do?
Morality is for humans.
Okay, so do you think
Morality
it's
is for
moral to
humans.
exploit and slaughter
And we are
animals?
the ones who are
Do
defining
you think
those
it's
animals.
moral to exploit
If
and
a
slaughter
dog
animals?
will stand up for dogs' right, I'll start supporting that dog.
Do you think it's moral to exploit and slaughter animals?
I think I won't bring the subject of morality in that.
Can you please not show your kids this? Do you think this is nice?
It does not look good.
No. So this is what we do to animals. Do you really want to be part of this?
I mean, nobody would like to see a slaughtered goat here. But
Don't you
everybody
want to
will
teach your
try to-
children that it's okay
say
to
it's
that you
very-
should respect animals, man? Come on.
Yeah.
So do you
They
think
should
you're
be.
respecting animals when you're paying for them to be exploited and slaughtered? Really? Come on.
I mean, I can't
For
be
an optional
a hypocrite
product.
for that, but I totally think it's totally fine to have animals for consumption.
But
because
it's
our
wrong to
bodies
do it.
require
It's
that.
wrong to do it to dogs, but it's fine to do it to cows.
Yeah.
What is the morally significant difference there?
We define it. The humans define it.
So
There's
you
no,
think
there
it's
is no universal law for it?
So you think an action becomes unjust based on the definition of the person who commits the action? So if I want to
Humans.
kill you,
Humans.
then it becomes
Humans.
unjust.
Humans.
I'm human, yeah.
I am disagreeing with that point when you're equating humans and animals.
I didn't equate you. You said an action becomes
Okay, is there
moral
any
the
difference?
minute
Is
that
there,
somebody
is there
accepts.
any difference between humans and humans and animals? What are the differences between humans and animals? How do you define it?
There's no morally significant difference between human beings and animals that justifies the difference in treatment
No, treatment of what?
of human beings or animals.
Yeah, so
There's no
like,
morally significant difference between
No,
them.
you have to tell me the differences. What are the differences? Don't talk about morality. Anything else? Everything else.
Well, there's differences between you and I. The same differences, right?
the
there's same
differences between
differences.
you and me, we have the exact same DNA.
No, we don't. We have
have.
very different DNA.
No, we have the 41, 40, something like that.
It's
Both
not
of
the
you.
same DNA.
Human
if we had the
DNA.
same
See,
DNA,
it's
we would
human
be
DNA.
identical twins. We don't have the same DNA.
Human DNA.
Yeah.
If you are here, you're touching this, I'm touching this, both will be human DNA, right? So there's a lot of difference between animals and
What
humans.
morally justifies exploiting an innocent animal but not the other? You say you say it's okay to exploit cows but not exploit dogs. Please
I don't
explain
call
to
it
me what the
exploitation.
difference.
I don't.
Whether you call it or not exploitation does not make it exploitation or not. It still is exploitation.
It's your definition. Mine might be different. So,
So,
we'll
wait a
end
minute.
on
Do you
this
think
then.
breeding to life somebody for the sole purpose of you using them as an object and killing them is not exploitation?
I don't think so.
Okay,
It's
so
just
if
a
I
food
do
group
that
then.
to humans, is it exploitation?
No, humans are significantly different.
Okay,
from
so
us.
all of a sudden
We
the
are ones who
species of
define
the
food.
victim already
There's
defines the action.
Human rights are significantly different from
That's not what I asked you. You seem to be piggybacking all over the place.
No,
so I'm
I
asking
am
you
very
yet
clear.
again, do you think that
I'm
bringing to
disagreeing.
life a sentient being for the sole purpose of using them as an object and then killing them is exploitation or not?
I don't think so.
You don't think it's okay? So humans are sentient beings. Then, by your own definition, it's not exploitation because I said, is it bringing to life sentient beings for the sole purpose of using them as objects and then killing them? More exploitation? You said no. Humans are sentient beings. Therefore, bringing to life humans to use them and then kill them is not exploitation.
Yeah, no, that's not illegal. At some point in time when you were not that developed, we were not
Whether
that
it's
certain.
legal or not, why does that
Yes.
matter?
Yeah.
So slavery was legal at some point. Does that mean that slavery
Yeah, exactly.
was okay?
Now
Does that
we
mean
are-
that slavery
now
was
we
moral?
we are still developing. Our society is still developing. Our
Does that mean that
civilization is still
slavery was
developing.
moral?
At some point in time, if they develop a meat that is,
They did. It's called plant-based meat.
yeah, it's not tasty at all.
Oh, okay. So taste pleasure justifies oppression towards animals.
Yeah, no, my body tells me what is nutrient dense and what is it required.
What is
So-
nutrient dense? Because plant-based food is actually
no,
nutrient
it's
dense.
not.
Yes, animal-based food is energy dense. I'm a certified nutritionist, my man.
I know,
You're not
I
talking to the
understand.
right person.
I'm trying. I tried it on myself.
Yeah.
I tried it on
What does
myself.
it mean to
I
be
was
nutrient
vegan
dense?
for 1
You
month.
are not vegan because you don't know what being vegan
Okay,
means.
I
What
know.
what is vegan?
Vegan means any animal source-based food you don't consume it. Right?
No, the
Be it
vegan is not a
eggs,
diet.
Be it
It's not a
eggs.
diet.
So what is that?
Veganism is not a diet.
So what is that?
Veganism is to animals where feminism is to women. It's a moral principle of respecting the rights of animals.
No, ideologically I didn't change myself. I just changed my food group. And
Yeah, so
somehow
you are
I
not vegan.
I felt terrible.
So you're not vegan. And you had a shitty diet and you all of a sudden, that must mean that you have to eat animals. But what if your diet is shitty towards animals? Are you going to go and eat humans? Because you have a shitty diet with
No,
animals.
we have a
oh no!
moral
In
code.
that
It's a
situation,
moral
it's
code.
your fault.
I do not equate humans with.
Did I equate them?
Alive.
Did I equate them? Literally, I did not equate
No,
them because
no.
I literally went a scale up,
no.
and that literally means I don't equate
Yes,
them.
somehow it's been and it's imprinted in my mind that even eating a horse is bad. Somehow.
Yeah. So somebody told you that it's bad.
You're not letting me
you
talk.
bought it, and you never believed
You're not
it.
letting me talk.
Because you're not
No,
answering
it's
any of
because-
my
no,
questions.
The germs are the first thing that moves and has life. Then you move up the ladder. There's
They're not
ants,
sentient.
there's
Do you know what
the
sentience is?
ants.
Sentient ants are sentient,
Let me
yeah.
finish, man.
Sure.
So there's level of what you can call it morality. We have made a ladder.
None of this is relevant. You know why? Let me explain to you. Extrinsic value does not matter. If you have zero value to me, my man, I don't really care if you die tomorrow. I'll just say it right now. I don't care because you're a stranger to me. Just
you
like you
shouldn't.
wouldn't care if I do die tomorrow.
shouldn't.
And
You
you shouldn't.
shouldn't.
But
But
the
if
thing
somebody
about
will-
it,
if
let me
somebody
finish. Hey, let me finish.
If
Let
somebody
me
will
finish and
come
listen to
here
what I'm saying.
and start
Let me
hurting you,
finish and
I
listen
will
to what
stand
I'm
up for
saying.
you.
No, let
No.
me finish and listen to what I'm saying. Extrinsic value does not matter. It's intrinsic value that matters, okay? The value that I place on individual does not mean that if I have zero value on an individual, I get to do whatever I want to that individual. It's the fact that they have value on their own that matters. The fact that they intrinsically value their own life as much as I value my own life, as much as you value your own life. The fact that you think it's okay to exploit and slaughter an innocent sentient being because you get taste pleasure out of it speaks volumes about what kind of person you want to be.
If intrinsic values are the ones that are driven by instinct, then my
Intrinsic
instinct,
value is not about instinct, my
So what
man.
is
You
that?
still have not understood.
No,
Intrinsic
look,
value
you
means you
just keep
value
on-
your own life
but
as much
whatever-
as you, as
whatever-
everybody else values their
I
own
do not
life.
value an animal's life over yours. That's period.
Yes, that's
it.
exactly what I
That's
said. You
it.
did not listen to anything I just said, did you?
That's
I
my
just said
definition.
it, but I
That's
just
my
explained to
definition.
you.
What's your name?
I just explained it to
What's
you.
your name?
I'm Chip.
Chip, nice to meet you.
I would say it's nice to meet you too, but I don't like when people want to abuse animals, and it's not really nice to meet
I have
animal
taken mental
abusers.
notes of what you have said, but I totally respect your views on everything else. Thank you so much.
Well,
Nice
I don't
meeting you.
respect your views,
Maybe
I'm
I'll come
sorry.
back here again and I'll.
I don't respect your views, but I'll give you a card anyway. And I think you should teach your children about what respecting animals actually is, because you know what? Children actually have an intrinsic value. If you think you were taught that exploiting some animals is good, maybe don't teach your kids the same thing so that they don't grow up thinking the same nonsense. Because all animals intrinsically deserve to live, all of them. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
one animal deserves to live because I said so and the other doesn't.
Yeah. No, let's agree to disagree on that. So
There is no morally significant difference between a dog and a cow. and yet
morality
you
is
seem to-
relative. It's subjective.
Sure. So
it's-
you want to
it's
teach your
subjective.
kids that as long as you want to, it's okay to
I
kill
will
any
teach
animal, right?
I'll teach my kids that we are
Sure.
designed to consume both.
We're not designed to consume any of it. We're not designed. We are evolved. We're not designed. There's no design in human made.
The gut.
Do you want to have a conversation with me? I think you've heard some of the conversation. You keep being live on my YouTube channel.
Okay, yeah.
Sure. How do you feel about animals?
Animals, I mean, where do we start? Are we talking about insects?
Can you come a little bit here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talk about sentient animals.
Insects are sentient.
Sure.
Jumping spiders can pass a mirror
Yeah,
test, so
yeah.
they are aware of self,
Yeah.
more so than the dogs are.
Sure. So
So we're talking about insects, or are we talking about
insects, all
animals?
sentient animals. Do you think sentient animals deserve the right to not be exploited by us?
Well, also, so if we say insects, then do we say also parasites?
Sure. Do they deserve the right to not be exploited by us?
So, in which way being exploited? I think, was it okay, cows, we have evolved them that they have to be milked every day.
Is it exploitation the fact that we impregnate them to have babies so that
No,
they
no,
can
no,
produce
you're
milk?
talking about a farming level, right? I'm talking about the way what we have selectively bred cows.
Why
that we
do you
need to
think
milk
cows
them.
produce milk?
They produce milk for their young.
Okay, so somebody has to get them pregnant. Who does that?
A bull.
No, a human being gets them pregnant.
Sometimes, if you're in a factory
Most
setting,
of the times, even in local
you're
farms.
going to an extreme situation.
Okay,
where
let's
we're immediately talking-
whatever. A bull gets them pregnant. What do you think happens when the babies are born?
The baby's born, and then the baby
It's taken away from their mother. Do you know why?
to make them continue having milk.
Well, so that they don't drink their mother's milk.
Okay.
Yeah, so that the farmer can control the milk process. Okay, so if the baby is born male, they kill them. Do you know why?
Are we talking about a farm,
A
or are we
dairy
talking
farm,
about a dairy farm?
Yeah.
Are you talking about scaled farming?
No,
Because
a small dairy farm.
Then where would you get a bull from?
Well, they usually buy the sperm from other bulls. They use the sperm they put their hands in the anus of a cow to hold their cervix, and they inject bull semen in their vagina. I can show you all this because I have.
No,
You
man.
don't want to see it?
I actually work at animal rescues.
Yeah.
I actually help animals a lot.
Okay.
I've actually been doing animal rescue since I was a child. My
Are you
family
vegan?
has done several. I have not been. I have been vegan, but it caused me to have extreme health problems, and I couldn't maintain it due to health issues.
What health
I have
issues?
seizures. So it's I had seizures, and also it's caused me to have fragility, memory loss, which was also it's comorbidity with the seizures. So I already have an illness
on top of it.
So why would those be solved by consuming the flesh of a sentient being?
I didn't say I do consume flesh of a sentient being.
Okay, the secretions of a sentient being.
I think that if there is a chicken that is able to be in a pasture and live a quality life in sun and eating bugs outside and has eggs, that I should be able to eat those eggs.
Okay, so why does a chicken produce eggs?
A chicken produces eggs because it's an unfertilized egg, because a rooster hasn't fertilized it.
Okay, how many eggs does a wild chicken produce?
A wild chicken, several per day, like 2 or 3.
No, 10, 15 eggs per year.
Okay.
So how many eggs does a chicken produce normally in a farm setting?
I don't know.
You said a couple per day, right? One per day at least, right? Do you think that it's okay to take their eggs? Because in sanctuaries, the place that actually take care of animals, they don't take the eggs. They actually feed them back to the animals. And do you know?
Oh, we did not.
Do you
do
know
that.
where? Well, I'm sorry that you did not do that, but that's what you should be doing.
Wait. Oh, you should be?
Yeah. Because those chickens need the nutrients back. But let me ask you this: you said that you work for animal rescue, right?
You're being really aggressive whenever I've been completely calm, and you've assumed that I eat meat. You assume all these things about me, and I think
but
you've
you
done
do
a couple.
consume animal products, don't you?
I think you've had several interviews that's gotten you really keyed up.
Sure. But you do
right?
consume animal products, don't you?
I do eat eggs.
Yeah. So is that not exploitation of animals?
I eat the most farm-based eggs I possibly can.
Sure. But let me ask this: for the chicken, have you seen what happens in sanctuaries for chickens?
Sanctuaries for chickens? I know.
Sorry, in sanctuaries
I have
in
tried
hatcheries.
to raise my own chickens. It's just having it's a availability of space to be able to have my own chickens, then be able to.
Have you seen what happens in hatcheries?
I don't get my eggs from hatcheries.
No, you get your chickens from hatcheries. Have you seen what happens in hatcheries?
No, I would get them from a small farm.
Sure, and that small farm gets them from a hatchery. Have you seen what happens in hatcheries?
Or they have a lineage of, having chickens within their
all
farm.
of the chickens come from hatcheries because they're being selectively bred to lay an egg every day. Farmers have not done that. It's hatcheries who have done that, and they sell them the chickens to everyone else. Do you know for every
single chicken?
Yeah,
so there are no
all the
normal
chickens nowadays.
that-
No. Do you know why? Because there's 2 breeds of chickens. You should know this. There's the breeds of chickens that we grow for meat and the breed of chickens that we grow for eggs, right? So the breeds of chickens that we grow for meat are the ones that obviously they grow super fast. They don't produce as many eggs, and the group of the chickens that we grow for eggs do come from a hatchery.
So I think, on an evolutionary basis, we should not be eating meat. If we want to go to meat, right?
We should not be eating any animal
No,
product.
what we should be eating is bug protein. That we are evolved in our gut, and we break down more perfectly bug protein than
I
we
thought
do
you said
meat
bugs are
protein.
sentient.
I know,
we don't need to consume any
that's
animal
when
products.
I asked what your level is.
We don't need to consume any animal products. Why exactly makes it justified to kill any sentient
As
being?
somebody who literally has health issues and has done a vegan diet and has eaten plant-based things, and I have a pre-existing
Do you think
medical
veganism is a
condition.
diet?
Okay, so I heard what you said before, that it's a
moral
philosophy.
principle.
It's a moral philosophy, right?
Yeah.
But also, you can have the moral philosophy, but it is also a structured diet you can follow on top of morality. As I said, I have worked at
It's
animal
loosely, you would loosely call it a structured diet because you can have a plant-based diet consistent of however you want. You can have a plant-based diet where you only eat carrots. You can have a plant-based diet made of whole foods and that's healthy. You can have a plant-based diet where you only eat junk food. There isn't one single diet.
Yes.
That's the whole thing about it.
But also
That's
doing
why the
whatever
diet aspect
I
of it is
can
simply
while
rejecting
not
animal
causing
exploitation.
me to have grand mal seizures.
Sure.
You didn't even. I literally can have up to 10 grand mal seizures a day. I lose the function of my hands.
And you have to eat
can't
eggs for
talk.
that.
I need protein.
But can you get protein from plant-based sources?
The plant-based sources were not effective. I developed an
Who
allergy.
told you that?
I started developing a severe allergy from eating soy.
But who told you that they're not effective? Did you go to a dietitian?
I have been vegan. I've done this.
No,
right?
you were plant-based.
I have been completely plant-based. I didn't do eggs the entire time.
Sure.
I have scaled my diet based off of me stop and going with my health and me trying to find the proper balance for my body to be able to be a functioning person.
Okay, let me ask you this. If I give you access to resources to a certified nutritionist who would help you adopt a plant-based diet that would help you with your issue, would you then still want to continue exploiting animals?
If I was able to, say all of that, but also having access to those things.
Yeah, of course.
Veganism right? And mind
Access
you,
to
this is
those
someone
products,
who
that's what
has
I
been
said, didn't I
vegan,
not say?
right? Is very cost prohibitive.
No.
Poor
It's
people,
actually much
it's very
cheaper.
harder.
That's
if you
not
have
true.
space to grow your own stuff, but if you're like in an apartment.
What are
and
you
no
basing
ego-
this statement on?
This is in America, so I'm talking about an American thing where
Oh,
it's hard
in
for
America,
people
we have 3 studies that show that a plant-based diet is up to 30% cheaper. In America,
I
I
have a
lived in
plant-based
America
diet.
for 3 months and I was vegan.
Okay.
In America, my sister
was
lives in
vegan in
America.
America, yes.
So yes, it can be cheaper. It can also be expensive, of course, just like
Yes.
an animal-based diet can be expensive.
Yes.
The fact that you choose to make it expensive doesn't mean that the diet itself cannot be cheaper.
Did
So
I-
I'm asking you the same thing. If I can give you resources,
down.
please listen to what I'm saying. If I can give you resources to adopt a plant-based diet that would be within
I
your
am
range
eating a
and
plant-based diet.
that would be within your price range and would give you all the macro and micronutrients that you require, would you still want to
have a
continue
plant-based
exploiting
diet.
animals?
And I eat pasture-raised, locally sourced farmed eggs.
The fact that they're local means nothing. Any farm is local to something. Locally sourced essentially means it's just something you stroke your own ego with. Because locally, literally, every farm is local to another place. You realize that?
I grew up in the farmlands of Illinois. I
Yeah.
grew up with small farms around me, with small families who've been farmers for hundreds of years, right? So it's just like, yeah,
And nowadays, all of farming in US, 99% of it is factory farming, and it's owned by corporations.
Yes, corporations are bad. That's
Yeah.
a completely different conversation.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like, I'm assuming
There is
that
a way to ethically consume, so it's like goats.
there's no way to exploit animals.
There's
no.
no way to like use goat milk.
Is there any way to use human milk for the same situation?
Yes.
To impregnate a female, take away their baby so that you can get their milk?
You know, there are women who have access milk, and I would say that
They do it consensually, don't they? Do you think
Yeah.
animals consent to them giving to us, impregnating them, taking their milk, and then taking their babies from them so that we can get their milk?
I'm saying that like, well, that's a whole process because again, I'm not drinking milk, so you're coming at my throat for someone who's not doing that.
You were just now defending milk and saying that there's a rational way. I'm not coming
and
at
I'm
your
saying
throat. I'm
goat
responding
milk,
to what
and
you're
I'm not
saying.
talking about cow milk. I'm talking about goats.
Yeah, goats, the same situation. They still have their babies separated. If you go to the goat farm here in Amsterdam, Bos, you'll see that the babies are separated from their mothers. The male babies are separated from the female babies. The male babies are going to go to slaughter, and you see that there's only one male amongst the female goats, and it's tied in one corner. I fucking cried when I went there because if you actually look about what's happening there, you realize that it is incredibly cruel.
At animal shelters, like sanctuaries I've worked at, I have been the caretaker of male goats. Yeah.
So why are you defending them this oppression that they do to them?
I'm just saying that there are ways to ethically not do extreme things such as like take a sentient creature's life, but there's ways to coexist with animals in ways where it's mutually beneficial.
None of those are part of farming, are they? Farming inherently involves you controlling the breeding process of an animal.
You're also using an angle where you're relying on people who also don't know a full narrative, right? You have your picture, but immediately you came at me. Factory farming, forced impregnation, everything like that.
No,
At
forced
me,
impregnation happens on all farms. It's not the factory farming thing.
there are natural
The
process.
natural processes, they still keep the male away. Like I said, that happens in Amsterdam Bos. They keep the male goat away, and then they only allow them to be with the female when they want to impregnate them. That's not natural. That's still controlled breeding. It's still controlled. It's not controlled in a way that the humans are touching the genitals of animals, but it is still controlled breeding. So how is it moral to control the breeding process of an animal?
Well, I just think that humanity has.
For your benefit, not for their benefit.
Pause. Let me finish.
I just wanted to be clear.
Okay, I'll let you finish talking then.
So how is it moral to control the breeding process of an animal for their benefit, not for yours?
Can I talk?
Sure.
Okay. I think there's too many, right? I think that there is a massive, no, pause. I think there is a large amount of people, right? We can compare, we have the little of biomass of animals in nature, insects in nature, and humans have gone exponentially out of control, right? And that's the whole thing. I think that there needs to be more green spaces, more coexisting. I think that humans are completely separated away from animals.
How is that relevant to what I asked?
I'm saying that people need to be able to not be separated from animals to have more empathy. I think that it's like, yes, we bred cows to have milk, not just after they have babies.
Is that moral or is it immoral according to you? I'm trying to understand because you never mentioned it.
Also, that your morality.
According to
isn't
your
the same.
values, according to
So,
your
okay,
values,
okay,
is it
if
moral or
there's
is
a
it
tribe
immoral?
on an island, right, and their only source of protein is to eat fish, right? Is it wrong for them to eat the fish out of the ocean, or should they not eat anything because there's no protein sources that they can get from their island?
If they're doing it out of necessity, it's justified. It's still wrong,
So
but it's justified.
So it's justified.
If it's necessity.
So okay, so your morals are flexible.
No, it's about necessity. It's pretty clear. If it's not necessary to exploit an animal to bring them to life, only to use them and kill them, I wouldn't say it's justified in any form or another. It's still immoral, as I said, but it's justified. In situations like in a day-to-day life where you can choose a plant-based dish, where you can choose to get your protein from other sources, where you can choose to get everything that you need from other sources, it is definitely not justified to oppress animals.
Okay.
Is it justified to you? And I ask you again, do you think impregnating cows is moral?
We're really going back to the thing where I said no. That's like one of the first
Okay,
things
so
I
it
said
is
no
not
to.
moral. So dairy
That's one of the
farming is
first things.
immoral.
Very immoral, especially when they start hooking them up to machines and then infections. They never see sunlight.
Even if they don't do all that, is it still immoral? If they impregnate the cows live on a green field, but they kill them when they can no longer get them pregnant, but they take away their babies after they impregnate them, they sell the babies or they kill the babies, they impregnate the babies, they do all this. Is this moral to you or immoral?
I know a family that had a cow, and they had one cow for the whole family, and then they would milk the cow, and whenever the cow got older, it was like the family pet.
How did the cow produce milk if they milked them? They had to have a baby. Where did the baby go if they only had one cow?
And then the cow stopped producing. So I met them once the cow had stopped producing milk, right?
How long does a cow produce milk after they have a baby?
You know, and you're literally trying to school me whenever I already said I don't drink milk, my man.
No, but you are still defending it. You're defending it just now. You defended it to what your family is doing.
No, because you asked me to a hypothetical question.
Yeah.
And I'm answering hypothetical questions. And
So
then
it
you
is
say I'm
moral in
defending
those
it.
situations.
It's moral for a tribe to get fish if that's their source of protein.
If it's a necessity.
To coexist with nature, to coexist and be able to be mutually beneficial, right?
How is it mutually beneficial for us to bring to life animals so that we can use them and kill them? How is it mutually beneficial? It's beneficial to us. How is it beneficial to the animal?
So do you think people, are we just talking, so could we not have any animals around us at all? So should
we should not bring to life animals so that we have them for us, no. Animals, if they want to be around us, they should be around us because they want to be around us, or because we rescue them, not because we bring them to life for them to be, rescue them from other humans who want to exploit animals.
No, so what you're saying is that we should take all animals, put them out in nature.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Inside of cities,
I'm saying we shouldn't breed
only
animals
plants.
to existence. I'm saying we shouldn't bring animals into existence for our own
The
wants.
plants, the animals are here, right? So we should.
Are you asking me what we should do with them? I can answer that question, but I really am interested in, first of all, adjusting, because are you defending or are you not defending dairy farming? I need to understand.
I literally said I didn't defend dairy
Okay,
farming.
but
I
you
went on a
just,
whole rant about dairy
okay, you
farming.
said that, but afterwards you said the family that only had one cow and you met them once the cow stopped producing milk. And you, for not one single question, I asked you exactly the same thing. Because this whole story that you're saying, it is a bullshit story. You know that, right? Because a cow produces milk for up to 1 year after they produce a baby. If that family, let me finish.
You're so upset. And
I
you know
know,
what? You're
I am
doing good
upset
work,
because you know what?
but you're also
You are
coming for
defending
people.
the worst
You're
animal
coming for people
exploitation
who are
ever.
doing a lot of
And
good
the worst
work.
part about it is that at least
I
other
do
people
animal
are owning
sanctuary.
up to it.
I help
You think you're
animals.
actually
I
doing
save
something
animals.
good, while at the
Am
same
I
time you
working at a
exploit
dairy
animals.
farm? Am I
And
working at a dairy
meanwhile,
farm?
you're not even listening to what I'm saying. I was saying something, and the middle of my sentence somehow interrupted the beginning of your sentence.
By being angry, you're an angry
No,
man. And you
I
just
don't
wanna yell at
like
people
being like this. You are the person who is angering me because you're not fucking listening to me.
A man over here literally said, no, we should eat animals and kill them. And you are experiencing the same level of anger towards him as you're experiencing towards me.
Yeah,
someone who
because you're
doesn't
both
eat meat.
defending oppression of animals. You are defending oppression of
Someone
animals.
who works in animal
Maybe you
sanctuaries
don't
my
want to
entire
do
life.
that. Yeah, but you just said just
I
now.
don't want to help animals.
No, maybe you don't
I
want to
wanna
defend oppression.
rehabilitate
You just
animals.
defended oppression when when you said the fact that, what was your, okay, let me ask you this. Okay, I'm calm. What exactly was the point? What exactly was the point?
So dysregulated.
Sure,
This
I'm
guy's
dysregulated.
blood pressure,
Yeah.
veins in his neck are
Fair
coming
enough.
out. He is
Fair enough.
freaking
What
out.
exactly was the goal of you saying about your family who only had one cow?
My family didn't have a cow.
No, about that family who
family
only
never had
had
a cow.
about that family who only had one cow. What exactly was the point of that?
They coexisted. I mean, they like literally.
So you think that was moral?
Like they, like that cow had a.
So you're
quality
defending
life.
dairy just now. You said you don't defending dairy. You just proved me that you defend dairy.
I'm saying that you can have a cow that coexists.
Sure, sure. You can
He's
go.
upset because I literally called him out for being so crazy.
Listen, everybody, don't be like this hypocritical person. Please don't be like this hypocrite. Don't say you defend animals while at the same time support the worst oppression in your life. Please don't do that. Don't be like this person. Be a normal person. Be a good person. God, I fucking hated her. She's the worst type of person I've ever seen in my entire life. The type of person who justifies oppression by saying, well, you know what, I defend animals. I'm a good person. Yeah, sure, I pay for their oppression. And from time to time, I'm going to justify oppression because I enjoy seeing a person get angry, a person who actually respects animals. I enjoy seeing them angry. Therefore, it's justified for me to defend oppression. Fuck off. You have a lot of patience. I don't, Mark J. Clearly, I don't have a lot of patience. These word salads from people who want to justify their consumption of animals are trying. Thank you for your work. I clearly don't have a lot of patience. I clearly don't have a lot of patience for this nonsense. I really hate people like her are the worst people in the world, in my opinion. They're the type of people who they put themselves on a moral high ground and they're doing the shittiest things in the world. It's literally who you non-vegans think vegans do. That's exactly the type of person who you should be angry at. Not me, that person. Because I'm at least honest about it. I fucking hate that kind of people. I hate animal oppression. I don't defend it. I make definitive statements. I'm pretty clear on my stance. No, yeah, I'm fully against dairy farming, but I was with a family who, you know, they had a cow for their whole life and they milked them and they treated her nicely. Sure. Don't answer questions. Interrupt me. Be a asshole. Ugh. Whatever. I'm gonna calm down. I need to go through I needed to go through a rant. I just hate people like that so much. Yeah, she victimized herself. Chip is angry. Sometimes I am. I'm human after all. I can get angry also. But I calm down now. I just don't like ridiculous people justifying the nonsense and then not listening. I just really hate people who do that. I still love you, Chips, as Future Boy. Thank you. And she started talking about bugs. And in the middle of, she started talking about bugs. That was the, imagine, wonderful lack of patience rant. Thank you. She started talking about bugs. Like, imagine this ridiculousness of it. She started the conversation with talking about bugs as if she wanted to make a point about sentient bugs and all of this, right? I was pretty clear on my point of view. And then what did she say? She said she supports the farming of bugs in the middle of the conversations. For fuck's sake. God, this person is awful. This is just the type of awful person. Yeah. She came for a fight. I mean, she was listening to the whole conversation before that, by the way. She was right there. And yes, I do think she came in for a fight. I do think she came in here to make a point. I mean, if she cares about animals, if she understood exactly what I stood for the rights of animals, why would she come in here to make a point anyway? Because she doesn't. She doesn't care about animals. She cares about feeling good about herself. That's what she cares about. She cares about the moral high ground. She cares about that whole point of, oh, I defend animals. I work in a sanctuary, okay? How dare you tell me this? Oh, I feel offended. Ugh. This type of people. Anyway. I'm sorry, everybody. You're not seeing the best of me right now. You really are not. I just dislike people like that so much. Let's see, maybe we get one more conversation, although I feel pretty defeated at this moment right now. I feel like I really don't want to talk to more people, but we'll see. We'll try one more. Dehydrates you. There was no right way to handle that lady. She wanted to fight. She was a gaslighter. She gaslit me for sure, and she successfully did that. I was gaslit. But that's okay. Again, I'm sorry everybody you had to witness that. I normally am calmer, I'm normally more on my feet, but whatever. I really dislike people like that. William the Wolfman says, Chip, you are cute. Thank you, William the Wolfman. And thank you for having that flag over there. I appreciate that. How often do you work out? Almost every day. 3 days yes, 1 day no. Something like that. 3 or 4 days yes, 1 day or no. The 4th day I check based on how I feel. If I'm too tired or I feel like I need recovery, I recover. If not, I go also for a 4th day. But 3 day yes, 1 day no. I thought she was either vegan, says Pia. I don't think she was. She was actually saying just stuff like, I think if you listen to what she said she did it for a month or something. I don't even know, because I just think she was gaslighting me. That's all she wanted to do. She was gaslighting me. She saw somebody who cares about animals, who cares about defenseless creatures, and thought it was a good idea to gaslight me. What can you do? You guys want to try a social experiment?
Yeah, sure.
Are you okay being live for my YouTube channel?
Oh, YouTube?
Yeah.
Nice.
You want to
What's
come
it
here so
called?
that you interview? I'll share a card with you afterwards. What's your name?
My name is Russ.
Russ, I'm Chip. Nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Nice to meet you. I'm from the U.S.
Okay, from the U.S. So Russ, do you think oppression is justified?
No.
No? What if the individual doing the oppression is stronger, smarter? Does that make oppression justified?
No.
And what if the individual suffering from oppression is not smart enough to realize that they're oppressed? Does that make oppression justified?
Probably not, no.
No. What if they're both part of a different biological group? Like one is a male, one is a female. Is that justified because they're not part of the same biological group?
I mean, if they're both human, then no.
If they're both human, then no.
Yeah.
What if they're not human? Is oppression justified towards animals?
I think it depends on the animal.
Why does it depend on the animal?
I don't know. I think it depends on the animal. Like, if there are ants invading your house, then it's justified.
But that's not oppression, right? So oppression means cruel and unjust, so it would have to be unjust by definition.
Yeah, of course. Oppression, if it's unjust under any animal, then it is.
Yeah.
Then it is not right.
Yeah. So animal oppression is wrong, right?
Yeah. If it's unjust. But it
think-
depends on what you think is unjust, just or unjust.
Sure. Do you think bringing to life an animal so that you can kill them is just?
Do I think bringing an animal just to kill them is just? It depends on if you're like a farmer and you're raising a group of chickens and cows, and then you slaughter them in a humane
No,
way.
it's dogs. Only dogs. Is it just?
I'm not sure. No, I don't think
It's not
so.
just?
What do you Dogs?
Bringing dogs into existence only to kill them.
That's not just. I don't think that's just.
Okay. Well, what if we replace the dog with a pig? That makes it justified.
Are you gonna eat the pig? I don't agree with eating pig either.
Okay. What if it's a chicken?
If it's a chicken, then maybe it could be just.
How is it justified? How is it just then?
Because chickens.
Is it just towards the chicken to bring them to life only?
Pigs
to kill
and
them?
dogs have a lot more intelligence than chicken.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Chickens
What
and
about
cows.
cows then? There you go.
I don't think cows are very intelligent either. I
They're
think
as
pigs and
intelligent-
dogs are intelligent.
Cows are as intelligent as dogs, yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
They do. They actually play fetch also.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They play fetch. Yeah, they do that. Don't do that on farms because they're pretty depressed there.
Yeah, I think I think all farms should have, you know, enough room for the animals to.
Why? You kill them anyway, right?
No,
you said
but
it's
if
okay
you
to
kill
bring
them,
them to
if
life
you kill
to kill
them in a humane way, it would be just.
What does humane mean?
In a quick, painless death.
If
you
I
know?
kill your friend in a humane way, it's just.
No, it's not. But my friend isn't a cow, you know.
Wait a minute, but your
I
friend is an
value my
animal.
friend a lot more than I value a cow.
Okay,
and
so
I
if I
value
kill
every
this
human.
lady over here, you don't value her. You don't know who that lady
Yeah,
is.
but I think all human life is more valuable and precious than.
Sure. So
animal
at
life.
what point do you cut off the line and say it's okay to oppress these individuals?
That's a great question, but I don't have the answer to
You
that.
don't have the
question.
answer to that? It sounds to me like you do have the answer to that. When somebody tells you that it's okay to oppress these individuals, you do it.
What do you mean?
Well, somebody told you that it's okay to oppress cows,
Yeah,
but it's not okay to oppress dogs.
I told you.
Do
I
you
know
have any logical justification behind this?
cows and dogs.
Yeah.
I guess not. Nothing logical.
No,
I think,
so it's just somebody told you and you followed through with it.
I guess, yeah. Sure.
You know, when it's something you don't really think about too
Yeah.
much,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean much to you.
Yeah.
Because at the end, like, I'm not meeting any cows and bonding with cows.
Yeah.
To the
Do you
point
know
where-
why?
Why?
It's intentional.
I don't bond with cows because, I don't know, I don't feel like we're on the same
That's
level
not
of
why.
intelligence.
No, it's because it's intentional. Because if you were to be bonded with cows, you wouldn't be okay with killing cows. Therefore, you wouldn't pay for killing cows.
But,
There's definitely
but
like.
I'm eating the cow, it's different.
Yeah.
Like, it's food, it's
So why not
nutrition.
eat the dogs also? It's food, it's nutrition.
But it's not clean meat. When people are desperate, they eat meat, dog. If
What
I'm
do you mean
desperate,
clean meat? They're all meat.
No, it's not the same type
Oh,
of
is it
meat.
a religious
They're not
thing?
nutritious. They're not nutritious.
But they are.
No,
They are.
Not the same.
Dogs?
as-
They
Dogs?
are.
I don't think
It's
they have
also
nutrition.
the meat is more gamey. With the
not
predators, what are your
Wait,
animals?
but let me see.
Religiously-
Let me
also
see. Because in
religiously, I don't
all
eat
of these,
dog 'cause
in
of
all of
religion
these,
as well.
in all of these reasons, you have failed to mention at least once the victim. It's all about how you feel about it. How about talking about the victim for a second? Do you
Yeah.
think it's okay to oppress innocent animals because you get benefit from
What
it?
do you mean by
I think-
oppression?
I
It's
think
Because
cruel
killing-
and unjust. Do
I
you think
think if you
killing is not
raise-
cruel
killing,
and
of course. But I'm saying
I think if you
What
raise
do you think
a
about
family
the
of
Confrontation
chickens
situation?
on open land and you give them a good life, that those chickens would have a much better life, a
And
much
if I do that
better
to a
quality
dog,
of
it's
life than
wrong.
if they were wild.
And if I do that to a dog, is wrong. And
For
the dog would
me-
have the same reasons. It's they would have a much higher quality of
Yeah,
life.
for me, it would be wrong if we do it to a dog religiously.
Religiously.
Can't eat dog. Yeah,
Okay.
in my
okay.
religion.
Do you follow what religion
eat
are
it.
you on?
Islam.
Islam. So do you follow everything that says in Islam?
you try.
I try my best.
Because on
Yeah.
Islam it also says if there's no necessity to harm an animal, you should not harm an animal.
But
Yeah,
to-
And do you think
It's
there's any
permitted to-
necessity? Do you
it's
think
permitted
there's
to eat the-
Do you think there's any necessity to harm animals?
I
For
mean,
food? For
yeah,
optional
for
food.
diet. I mean, if
Is it
you're
necessity or is it optional? Can you thrive on a plant-based diet?
could you thrive on a plant-based diet? Probably with supplements and vitamins.
So you can't thrive on a plant-based diet.
With it's not ideal. Yeah, I feel like a healthy, balanced
omega-3.
diet with
You can
fish
get omega
and white
3
meat.
from chia seeds, from hemp seeds, chia
Fish
seeds.
don't feel pain.
They do.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
They don't
Google
feel
it. Open
fear.
your phone
Shellfish
right
don't
now.
feel pain.
They don't.
They do. Open your phone right now.
I think-
Google it right now
Let's
if
see.
you think it's a fact.
I think
Do
it's
fish feel
shellfish,
pain?
like crabs
Fish
and
feel pain,
lobsters
yeah.
don't feel pain.
But who cares? Do you think that if you don't feel pain, that means it's morally
Okay,
justified
how
for me to
about
take your life?
When a lion eats a fucking gazelle, does it care what the gazelle thinks?
Yeah,
It feels
A
is
lion
it
does it out of
inhumane for lions
necessity,
to
do they not?
exist?
We also need to eat.
There are also
Okay.
omnivores that.
But we don't
that
need to
kill.
eat animals, do we?
Cows eat birds sometimes if they have the opportunity. You just can't hunt. That's the reason they don't eat
Cows
meat.
don't eat birds.
And there are videos of it. I've seen videos of
Sure,
like when they get
I'm
they
sure.
catch it.
Just like you said, fish don't feel
They
pain.
don't.
To be honest, I asked ChatGPT.
Hippos are also
it says
vegetarian.
It's not easy. It's not simple. They detect stimuli.
So they feel something,
Yeah,
but it's
they
not
probably
feel pain.
experience.
They don't feel pain.
They feel pain.
You know this for a
Yeah,
fact?
yeah.
Probably not the same way humans
You have
feel pain.
empirical evidence for it. That's why I said Google it. Don't use ChatGPT because ChatGPT is very biased.
Okay, what's your source?
Oh,
As I
sorry.
said, I have empirical evidence. I can't show it to you right now because my phone is over there. But if you Google it, you'll find
I
it.
have Googled it.
I don't think you Googled
I
if
have a lot
fish
of
feel
fish
pain.
facts.
Should
But
we
who
go?
cares? If I sedate you and I kill you, is that fair towards you? You won't feel the pain.
If I don't feel anything, no one's affected
so
by it.
you're-
So you think it's fair
And
for me to kill you?
If you need to eat me,
I
go
don't need
ahead.
to. I do it because I want to.
If you want to, but you're gonna use my parts for food.
For
right?
sexual pleasure.
do whatever you want. I'm dead.
And so you're okay with it. Come
I'm
on,
fine
man.
with
I'm trying to be honest over
I'm
here.
being honest
You can't really say that this kind of shit is nice. Like,
Listen,
come on.
listen.
Like, you can't say that.
Are you vegan?
You can't say that
also-
this is nice towards
you're
animals.
also like
You can't say this is nice. This is what you pay for. You can't say this is
I
nice.
can look at this and still eat later. I'm fine.
Yeah.
You're
That's not the point of it. Of course, you can look at it and still eat better later because you've been desensitized to it. I'm asking you, is this fair or not?
In the grand scheme of things, like, okay, it's unfair. Not in the grand scheme. Sorry.
This is
From
for
the
an
animal's
optional product.
perspective,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's
But
not fair, is it?
do they really feel like, let's say, if this sheep had a mother, would it really be as affected as like a human mother about her?
They do have emotions, yes. They
As
have
deep
emotions.
as ours?
As deep as ours, yeah. That's why dogs have anxiety. Have you not seen that dogs have
She does
anxiety?
have anxiety.
Dogs have anxiety also, but you respect humans. You don't respect animals, though.
So I'm not saying humans. I'm saying cheetahs. Cheetahs are genetically born
Sure.
with the anxiety because they get bitched in the wild. This is a fact. Remember me and Donna talked
How
about
does
it.
that relevant to this?
I'm just saying all animals are born in for different reasons. They've evolved into this.
No, these animals, we bring them into existence. we treat them like
they've
objects and then we
they've
kill them.
evolved to be like farm animals, cattle. They can't
These,
survive.
they don't
as
evolve.
opposed-
We
survive.
selectively
It's
bred
also-
them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
So they
also
can't
opposed
survive in the
to
wild. The fuck is a
the
cat
other
gonna do in the
option
wild?
is
They
for them
eat-
to
they
live a
go
much
extinct.
shorter lifespan in the wild.
I'm sorry, guys. I thought you were actually fair, compassionate people. It was my mistake. I hope you have a great day.
okay.
I hope you
Looks
stop
can be
abusing.
deceiving.
I stop you have
Listen,
stop
man.
abusing. I'm not gonna shake your hand. I don't want to shake the hand of animal abusers. I'm sorry. I hope you decide to change. Honest to God, I really wanted to have a good conversations with you guys, but you just keep coming up with excuses for defending violence
I don't
towards
think
animals.
it's an excuse. I think
It is.
I
It
think
is.
farm
It
animals
is.
live
It
a-
is
in
violence.
general
And
can
I'm
live a
really
better
am not. I really am
than
not
in the
interested in
wild.
hearing excuses. I really am not interested. I think if you were in their shoes, you wouldn't accept it as a justification because we've been doing it for thousands of years, or nonsense that other animals are doing it, or all kinds of things. At the end of the day, if you can choose to not oppress them, you should choose to not oppress them. But
Yeah,
if you
well,
want to
we're
go
not
ahead and
actively
oppress them,
oppressing
I can't force you to not oppress them, right? And if all you want to do is come here and come with justifications for why you think oppression is okay, there's nothing I can tell you about it. I just think at least watch some videos to see what exactly it is that you're defending. Because if you think that's bad, that's only a small part of it. The reality is it's monumentally worse. That's it.
All right, man. Have a good day.
I'm
Sorry, I just like fun fact outside of this thing. You know, most Western cities or communities electrocute animals instead of like.
I know how they
sedate
kill
them. It's a lot
animals.
worse.
They use a bolt gun. It's not a lot worse. Yeah. It's not a lot worse. It's better than halal slaughter, if that's what
Yeah,
you're talking about.
but I love that you're making a conversation out of this because now I'm going to think about it and I'm going to look into it.
I don't think you are.
No, I will.
I don't think you are. I think you're just saying that, but that's okay.
No,
you know?
I'm not just saying that. I'm genuinely because like
Okay, fine. Let me give you a card then at least. You know, I actually do care about animals, and I'm not interested if people don't care. Just watch the Minion. It appears on top of your skin.
I'm
It's
very
scary.
interested. I'm glad you're
Okay.
making a conversation out of it. Even though I
I'll shake your
disagree,
hand.
I can
Okay.
respect that.
Okay. Cheers. Have a good one. Yeah, everybody. I don't have the mood anymore. I don't have the mood to talk to these assholes anymore. I'm sorry. I just don't have the mood anymore. Fucking people destroyed me today. I got destroyed today, everybody. I got destroyed. I tried defending animals. I tried doing the right thing. I tried explaining to people that it is oppression, that it is not justified, that it is not okay, that if you were in their shoes, and everybody just came up with exactly the same justifications. Everybody, every single person, one after another, like on Xerox, claiming the same bullshit things. The same bullshit. It's okay to do this to these animals. It's not okay to do this to these animals. Why? I don't know. It just is. Because culture. For fuck's sake. We're doomed as a society if we end up in a place where you can't even think a little bit about your choices. If you can't even question a little bit of what you're supporting. And when you're supporting the worst kind of violence and oppression towards the most defenseless creatures, we're doomed as a society if you really are that type of person. But yeah, you are defending animals, bro. You did what you need to be done. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Oil up, Chip. It'll calm us all down. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'll see you guys in soon. Anyway, I'll see you in like 2 hours, right? Um, yeah. You're way too emotional for this two type of experiment. Hey, BL. How about go fuck yourself? How about that? How about acknowledging that I'm emotional because I care? How about acknowledging that I'm emotional because I really can't accept the most nonsensical, illogical arguments out there for the most violent, oppressive things we do as humans? How about that? You think you can accept that? Do you think you can accept that people have emotions towards oppression? Do you think we can have emotions about that? BL, do you think you can have emotions about people who defend oppression? Do you think? BL, do you think you can have emotions? BL, I keep asking you the same question. Do you think it's okay to have emotions towards somebody who's defending oppression? Tell me, BL. Because I'm definitely... I have emotions towards it, yeah. And some days are better than other days. But today I definitely showed my emotions because I'm human, you know? I'm human. We all have emotions, and we all should show some of these emotions because it is, for fuck's sake, it is unacceptable to defend this kind of stuff. It is the fact that we deemed it as acceptable to defend this nonsensical bullshit, the fact that we are defending violence towards innocent animals and we see it as acceptable. Nah, we shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be those people. And if you want to be that person who defends violence towards innocent animals, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you're not a nice person. What can I say? Or maybe you should look more into it to see exactly what it is that you're defending. And you know what? Maybe I'm gonna show you a little bit of it. No, BL, stop, don't leave yet. This is what you're defending, BL. This. Do you think I should not have emotions towards this? Do you think this should not raise some form of emotions? Do you think this should not be normal? Do you think this is normal? Do you think this should be normalized? Do you think this should be okay? Do you think we want to live in a society where we do this kind of shit to animals? Is this the society you want to live in? Where we just treat other sentient beings because we benefit from it? Because we profit from it? Do you think it's fair to do this to them? Ridiculous. I apologize to the other vegan people in this chat. I apologize to the other people who understand what I'm going through. I'm sorry that I was a little bit emotional. But from time to time, you gotta be a little bit emotional, I guess. I don't know. I just did how I felt. It's just people annoy me. But I appreciate everybody for being here, okay? I appreciate everybody. I think we also got a donation, and I appreciate that. I'll be back on Sunday. I'll take a break tomorrow. I'll definitely take a break, a much needed break, I guess, tomorrow. And I'll be back on Sunday. And I'll see you again in 2 hours, okay? I'll see you again in 2 hours where we'll have a little bit of fun. Your hat is listed, so brother, yeah, CB, yeah, sure, whatever. Always the same arguments, always the same things. Let's not talk about the animal oppression that you're supporting. Let's talk about my hat, who I got as a present from somebody. Let's talk as if I buy this hat every single day. Sure, let's not talk about the innocent animals that you're exploiting. Oh, the violence, the oppression, the exploitation. Let's not talk about the fact that some systems inherently depend on exploitation and most systems contain exploitation. But you probably don't understand all that. So let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about how you find the fault in me, and that justifies the oppression that you want to commit, right? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that I'm an imperfect human, and that means that you can do whatever the fuck you want because I'm imperfect, right? Let's talk about that, sure. Yeah. I'll see you in 2 hours, everyone. I'm sorry. It's a little of a different thing. Have an awesome day, everybody. CB, I don't normally do this, but you don't have to be here. Alexandra says one more. Alexandra, I don't think I can do one more. I'm sorry. I don't think I can. I'm pretty upset right now. I'm gonna go take a little break. I'll see you guys in 2 hours, and we're gonna start making fun of some of the arguments, okay? And yeah, I do clearly care. I care. It's kind of insane the fact that I have to explain to people all of this nonsense, the fact that I have to jump through hoops, the fact that people defend violence towards animals. This is the world we live in, everybody. This is the world for us. Nothing we can do about it, is there? But yeah, we'll continue fighting. I'll regroup. We'll fight some more. And we'll be back. I'll see you in the next one. See you tonight. And I'll see you on Sunday. Tonight and on Sunday, okay? Have an awesome day, everybody.